Alright, there we go. Jesus Christ. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Okay. Let me do this. Then what we'll do is... Oh, sniz out. Oh, wait, let me remove this. Why is this still up? No, get rid of that. Get rid of that. There we go. Get rid of that. Okay. I'm straight like, wait, why are we looking at that? Stop that. Okay. We want to move that. And we'll close that. How did... Okay. That's what's up. Okay, okay, okay. Alright, so what I want to do is... I want to bring up Rend's videos, probably. Probably Rend's. Cause I'm pretty sure he has like... cause I want to talk about the tanks first anyway. So... Yeah, we'll bring up Rend's videos. Oh, he got his Dark Knight video out. Okay, cool, 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 cool. He got his Dark Knight video out. I watched the Gunbreaker and Warrior one this morning. So the Dark Knight one will be new to me. Okay, we'll do that. We shall watch that. Okay.
Hey everyone.
So what I'm gonna do is... Okay, cool, cool, cool. Alright. That. We'll bring that up. Okay. And so what I'll do is... Oops. Not that. We're going to drag this over. Then we'll drag this over too. Alright, there we go. There we go. And that should... There we go. That'll do all that. And then we'll just have them both. And then I can look at this. And then we can kind of look at what's going on with Le Gunbreaker. Alright, so let's see what we got here. Alright. Actually, let me do this real quick. Because I don't want this bullshit music playing in the goddamn background. Oh, look at that. You're invited. Yeah, yeah. 50 million guild giveaway. Yep, suck my dick. There we go. Alright. Okay. So, pull that back up. Alright. Yep. Alright, so let's see what we're looking at Gunbreaker. Let's look at the traits first. Tank Mastery, Renewer, yeah, still there. So cartridge, charge at level, yeah, it's level 30. Let's see the new one. So at level 82, you get Heart of Stone Mastery, upgrades Heart of Stone to Heart of Corundum. At 84, you get 84, you get the Enhanced Aurora, just 2 charges. We knew that was coming. Melee Mastery at 84. Also, you get 2 of these at 84. Okay. Which just upgrades your potencies just to make older content a little bit harder since your potencies are dropping and now they're coming back up. Let's see, you got the melee mastery, enhanced continuation, become ready to blast after executing burst strike. So yep, that gives you the new skill. And then at level 88, you get the 3 cartridges. So that's the traits. It's pretty straightforward, standard. We knew we were getting that. Now the skills. So you just keep the same, Keen Edge combo, Nasty Fang combo. I am so glad this is one button. This is actually pretty huge. I'm glad this is one button. No more three separate buttons to accomplish. Like, it never made sense that these were three separate buttons, but all of this was one. Jugular Rip, Abdomen Tear, Eye Gouge. All of these were one button. It made no sense that you had these separate, but this was all one button. It was stupid. It was fuck you level. It was stupid. You had these three separate buttons. This was one. That was the most asinine thing they've ever done. Um, Continuation will do Jugular Rip, Abdomen Tear, Eye Gouge. And then you have the new skill, which I'm pretty sure is here somewhere. Now, one of the things I know Rand talked about, and I'm gonna watch his video in a bit, was he talked about the AoE combo. The AoE combo for Gunbreaker is actually quite a bit weaker now. He was like, even in AoE situations, it looks like you will no longer do the Fated Circle, and instead you will opt for the Burst Strike into the continuation. So that was actually an interesting change. Lightning Shot, our pull skill. To keep the dot, Sonic Break, Bow Shot. And then you have the off GCDs. But I was talking about the utility first. No Mercy stayed the same. It's still here, still busted. Aurora is gonna be really good because Ren talks about it in his video. It's just that Dark Knight and Gunbreaker have the most party mitigation, and it's actually kind of funny that they do when you think about it. It's just like Dark Knight, in theory, can mitigate three members of the party with two charges of Oblation and then a TBN. So that's pretty huge. I actually think Aurora. I like this though, because the thing is, I do use Aurora, and I try to use Aurora as much as I can in Prague. That's one of the things I kind of need to be more aware of when I'm playing Gunbreaker, is using Aurora a hell of a lot more than I do. Um, I do need to be better about that. Hold on, actually, let me do this real quick. All right, we're gonna do this. We're gonna try. Come here, come here. There we go. So what I'm gonna do is, where's the one that, is this the one? No. Where's the one whatchamacallit gave me? That's ways. Wait, where are the ones that Aogen gave me? Here it is, but I don't have the other one. He gave me two, and I don't have it. Aogen gave me two fucking, whatchamacallit. I'm gonna use this one. I'm just gonna turn it down a little bit. Um, I have to be careful though, because if I talk too much, actually, if I talk too much, it'll mute me in Discord, but I'm not in Discord, so maybe it won't care today. Hey. Alright, there we go. Aurora, like I said, I just need to learn how to use this more. It's really good potency. It's a 200 cure potency, 18 seconds, two charges. Like, if I do prog on Gunbreaker, I will be using this a lot more. Bloodfest, still the same, 90 seconds, three cartridges now. That's gonna be cool. Camouflage, I like camouflage. Don't get me wrong, but I think on a 90-second recast, I feel like it should be 15%. But uh, I don't know. I don't know how to feel about camouflage. It's a good cooldown if it's just block down autos essentially. You can use it for busters to cover the autos before and then the actual buster hit, and cover a few autos afterwards. It's a really good skill. It's 20 seconds. Like, camouflage it's not as strong as some other skills, but it's also not as weak. Camouflage to me is a mid-tier skill. I don't mind it. Two Bolai being 10 seconds. I no longer have to fear that buster and fucking perfect anymore. I no longer have to sweat that timing. I just hit it now. I no longer have to sweat that timing. Cause like there were quite a few times when we were speeding and that Bolai would fall off when that last hit hits me. But it's just so close, bro. It's so terrifying. Heart of Stone, we won't even talk about this because it's getting changed. It works the same way as it does now. Royal Guard, Tank Stance, Heart of Light, staying the same. I love it. Nebula, still good. Heart of Corundum. Let's talk about this for a second. Because this skill is actually kind of busted. Alright? Heart of Corundum is actually kind of busted. And this goes back to what they were saying when they were like, oh, using skills correctly, you will get greater benefits out of those skills. So when you look at Heart of Corundum, reduces damage taken by a party member or self by 15%. So 15% flat mitigation, alright? That duration is 8 seconds. Additional effect. When targeting a party member while under the effect of Brutal Shell, that effect is also granted to the target. The Brutal Shell will be 30 seconds. Brutal Shell is a shield that you give to them. And I think it's percentage of how much it heals or something like that, I think. Additional effect grants Clarity of Corundum to target. Clarity of Corundum reduces damage taken by 15% for 4 seconds. So I've been told this isn't actually 30% the way it seems. At least that's what I've been told. I've been told it's not actually the 30%. That's what I've been told. I think Ren talks about it in his video. He goes in, like I said, Gunbreaker's his baby. He goes, yeah. He goes into detail about it a lot more, so you get your own XCOG. Sort of, kind of, yeah. It's pretty much an XCOG. So additional effect grants Catharsis. I don't know. Catharsis. Is that Catharsis or Catar? Something. All right. It was a word style. Couldn't pronounce either. Of Corundum to target. Restores HP when HP falls below 50% or upon effect duration expiration. So once all this is over, it just heals you. Now, what it doesn't say is what the cure potency is. But when it says restore HP, does it just mean it pops you back to full? That's really, because like there's no cure potency. There's no cure potency here, right? There's no cure potency. And so I'm wondering, does it just boost you to full, or is there a natural cure potency? Because if it just boosts you back to full, when you drop below half, this can help heal Living Dead. Like, so I'm actually curious. I'm actually curious how that cure works on that. Stores HP when HP falls below 50% or upon effect duration expiration. 10 seconds. I'm curious about this. Like, I really am. I want to know how this works. Is it a cure potency or do you just pop back to full? If you just pop back to full, that's huge. That's huge. And you can't tell, like, if it works that way, and you just pop back to full, if you drop below half, Living Dead might be a thing of the past. Like, how stressful it is. Like I said, I don't know. I'd have to see it. Ren has played it. He knows more about it. I think, pretty sure he talks about it in his video. So when we get to that, we'll just sit there and listen to what he has to say. Off GCD, the danger zone revolves in the blasting zone. The potency for this has been reduced. Like, of course, potencies across the board have been reduced. Blasting zone, 600 potency. You're still gonna use this. It's not dead. It's not dead. You're still gonna use it. It's 600 potency. Calm down. This is the interesting part though, because apparently, like Ren was saying, you're in AoE situations. You're no longer gonna use Fated Circle. You would do Demon Slice, Demon Slaughter, and then you're going to go into Burst Strike into Hyper Velocity. That is the way Ren has explained it now, because Burst Strike is 400 potency, Hyper Velocity is 200, so that's 600 potency. It's like, yeah, you're not doing an AoE, but on one target, you're gonna bust his ass. So, in a way, and you gotta realize you're building up a charge. 1, 2, you're building entities faster. And you're not wasted. Because like I said, this is what it's 600 potency as opposed to 100, 290. It's what 490 potency, so almost 500 for 3 hits instead of just doing Yeah, this is DPS positive. So this is 200 potency. You get a charge, and then you do a burst strike. And yeah, I can see why. This is DPS positive. You net, yeah. Boom, boom. Yep. All right, that makes sense. Rough divide. Think the potency was dropped. Still the same overall. Like, so I'm not even gonna talk about the potencies dropping, because we all knew potencies were dropping this X pack. So there's no point in talking about that. But then this skill, double down. I haven't even hit it yet, and it's one of my favorite skills. The joke in the static is when we're speed running, if the double down doesn't direct hit crit in the opener, we're gonna jump it. We are 100%. If my double down doesn't direct hit crit in the opener, I don't care about your pots. We're jumping. No. It just 1200 potency. No, if it does not direct hit crit in the opener, we're jumping. We're not even gonna have that conversation as a group. It's literally like, okay, Crow, did it crit? Nope, didn't crit or DH hit, jump. And I can hear fucking non now. But my Hio show, I don't care about your Hio show, bro. I don't care about Hio show. I don't care about the new Madare or Giga Madare. But from what I understand, Kasu probably won't care because he doesn't Giga Madare until 2 minutes in anyway. So it doesn't really matter to him. Um, Double down is a good skill though. 1200 potency. It's like forget the fall off. Like it's 20. Even the fall off isn't that bad. It's 1200 potency for the first enemy, and then 20% less for all remaining enemies. That's not that big of a fall off. When you look at the other AOE's that other classes have, they have like major fall off, like 60%. Yeah, no, fucking 80 and 75. It's wild how much fall off other skills have. But double down pretty fucking strong. Like Rand talks about it in the video, and I'm probably gonna start that in a second. All in all, Gunbreaker is, I mean, let's just be real here. And Endwalker is still gonna be strong. It's still gonna be the preferred tank for um speed. It's still the speed tank. Um, it does have awkward timings from what Ren says in this video, and I'll get into that in a second. It does have like some awkward timing. What the fuck? Why is this open? What the fuck are you doing? Computer, please calm down. Um, I like Gunbreaker. I like Gunbreaker. I actually like this class. I like how it looks. I think it'll be fun. I think Gunbreaker will definitely be fun. And I am 100% looking forward to playing this class. I don't know if I'm gonna play it in Prague because even now I'm not like 100% comfortable on Gunbreaker. But like Rhythm was saying, just play it like the entirety of like when we're leading into the raids here. Like I said, at the end of the day, I'm going to play what I'm most comfortable on. Like, cause like at the end of the day, all the tanks will be viable for Prague, but I want to play what I am the most comfortable on. And what I'm going to perform the best on. Cause while it wasn't awful, Soma did tell me last year she wished I was on Dark Knight because she could tell I was not as comfortable on Gunbreaker since I was literally picking this up for Prague and learning it while I was progging. Not the greatest experience, if you ask me. I tried my best. I got better with it as the raid tier went on. I wish we would have speed ran more, but group was kind of tired of it after. We won't get into all that, but this upcoming tier, I'm looking forward to playing Gunbreaker. This upcoming expansion, I'm looking to playing Gunbreaker a lot more. Me and Rhythm just kind of agreed. I'll do the Gunbreaker Dark Knight. He'll do Warrior Paladin. That's kind of like what me and him have decided we're gonna do. I'm still gonna dabble in Paladin and Warrior. I'm still gonna play those two classes. I'm gonna get them up. I'm going to try them out. It's just Paladin looks very autistic right now, and I don't want to deal with it. I just really don't want to deal with Paladin in its current iteration. Um, it'll be interesting though. It'll be interesting to see like how Paladin ends up, or just like how all the tanks end up when you break them down on FF logs. Once everyone gets acquainted, the first tier is like a complete and utter anomaly. People are still getting used to it. Um, Rotations are gonna be different. Openers are gonna be different. It's gonna take a tier for everybody to get used to it. But if we get the ultimate, If we get the ultimate after the first tier, then by then people would have kind of be in like a good spot for the classes that they're learning. I'm gonna tell you right now, don't expect a whole lot from Reaper in the first tier. I believe there are gonna be a handful of really good Reapers, but the majority of Reapers they're gonna suck. So if you're playing Reaper or you're thinking about playing it, devote a lot of time to that class. Please do, because if you don't, you're going to be garbage. Like if you're going to play Reaper when it drops, level it, play it like from jump off rip. Play Reaper off rip. I'm telling you, you will not regret it. Okay, you will not regret playing Reaper off rip because you're going to learn it. You're going to have an understanding of the class. Somebody will come up with an opener, but like I said, test your own stuff. You know, this is why we have a month to kind of get to know our classes. But a month is not really a lot of time to really understand new classes. So, but Gunbreaker looks like it's going to be really good. Like I said, it's going to be this is going to be the speed run tank, 100%. It just shits damage, dude. Now the question is, we'll talk about it later. Dark Knight is not as weak as people think. Dark Knight is actually pretty fucking busted. But I'm going to watch Ren's video. It is 24 minutes. It's funny. It's the longest one, but he talks about a lot of things about Gunbreaker. I might skip a little bit of it. I'm gonna pause this. I might skip a little bit of it if it's something that I'm not whatchamacallit, if I don't think it's important. But yeah, we'll just get into Ren's video.
Endwalker expansion and double down on our favorite job. The very first thing we're going to take a look at is our combo. If you pay attention closely here, you're going to notice that we do not drop our combo for 30 seconds.
That's huge,
Whether
actually.
this was an intended decision or not is yet to be determined.
Actually,
but if this is the case,
actually, pause. Let's talk about this. No one drops combo for 30 seconds. That's massive. What's up, Alice? That's actually pretty fucking huge. No one drops combo for 30 seconds. If that is intended, this game is getting more and more brain dead as it goes on. This game is getting easier. Like I literally spoke about it this morning. Like the fact that dragoons don't have to hit their positionals for willing thrust and fanging claw to get the Raiden proc is huge. It's you still want the potency, but you're no longer losing out on a Raiden. That's kind of huge. That's kind of a massive change to Dragoon that just makes it busted. But at the end of the day, well, like I said, we'll have to see once we get our hands on the classes. We'll see how everything goes. It's really gonna be interesting though to see like how all this combo not breaking for 30 seconds is going to work out.
then whoo, does this change the way we're going to think about things. Suddenly, certain rotations that we didn't think were possible become reality. And how cool is that? This is particularly useful for Gunbreaker, when we have our Bloodfest No Mercy window with our new rotation. While it does make me wonder what kind of disengagement mechanics we're going to see in the future, it does give me a sense of ease. I believe we're going to see far fewer players dropping a combo now, and while they may be clipping and not pressing things when they're readily available, we're going to see less punishment as players are learning, and I think that's a great thing. Let's talk about the new stuff. First up, we have Double Down, our new 2 ammo cartridge spec.
I love Double Down.
This is a massive AoE on a 1 minute cooldown that hits for 1200
1 minute,
for the first
holy
enemy,
shit,
and
dude.
80% for all remaining enemies. Keep in mind that these potencies are subject to significant change. However,
I don't think these
this
potencies
should
will
not
change.
how we use it in our rotation.
I don't think these potencies are
Next
gonna,
up
not
is our newest
drastically.
continuation OGCD, Hypervelocity. Continuation is an OGCD button after a certain GCD. In this case, Hypervelocity is comboed off of Burst Strike. Now remember, if you don't use your continuation before your next GCD, you actually lose the proc. So you'll always be using this after you proc it, which means you may have to plan ahead, as you'll have one less OGCD slot at this time.
Correct.
Speaking of OGCDs, let's talk about Heart of Corundum. This thing is a full course meal of mitigation. It does everything you want and more. Okay, well, not everything. Let's break it down. HOC is your upgraded Heart of Stone that you acquire at level 82. This provides 15% mitigation for 8 seconds, as it always has, while also granting the Brutal Shell buff if you use it on a party member while you have the buff up.
Okay.
In addition to that, we got a few other goodies, like Clarity of Corundum. Clarity of Corundum adds an additional 15% mitigation for the first 4 seconds of the buff being up, which is huge, by the way. But we're not done yet. That's right, we also get Catharsis.
Catharsis, that's how you
This
say
works
that
like
word.
a Scholar's Excog, where it heals you if you fall below 50% of your HP, or when the buff falls off. Now, the tooltip states that it lasts for 10 seconds, but while I used it in the media tour, it lasted for 30 seconds on my buff bar. This leads me to believe that it could be either of those options, and it's possible that the duration is something else entirely upon official release. We'll just have to wait and see.
But how much
Next,
does it heal?
Let's go over what's gone up, what's gone down, and what's stayed the same. Keen Edge is the first part of our filler combo, and while most attacks have gone down in potency in line with melee changes, Keen Edge is the only one to have gone up. Brutal Shell received a 10% decrease in damage, while the heal and shield remained the same.
Okay.
The finisher for our filler combo, Solid Barrel, received an 18% decrease in damage, and still generates a cartridge. Once again, keep in mind that all of these potencies are subject to change. Our ammo spender, Burst Strike,
Soviet. Completed all ultimates, top of my class. Yo, big fact,
Ready
Soviet.
to Blast allows you to use Hyper Velocity, which is your 200 potency continuation that we talked about earlier. So while Burst Strike received a 20% decrease in damage,
It
if
got
you
it
add
back with hyper
to it,
velocity.
it actually received a 20% buff.
Buff,
We'll
yeah.
discuss my thoughts on Burst Strike and the addition of continuation a little bit later.
That's actually kind of huge.
Gnashing Fang and its continuation combo, Jugular Rip, have been reduced by 20% and 31% respectively, for a total of 540 potency. Since Burst Strike and Hyper Velocity are a total of 600 potency, while you still prioritize Gnashing Fang over Burst Strike if you only have one cartridge, if you have to prioritize one in raid buffs, you would choose Burst Strike with Hyper Velocity.
So that, so yeah, I don't know why I need a new mouse. I don't know why it does it. Okay, so that's the interesting thing. So now, what you're prioritizing in raid buffs, which I'm glad he brought that up. So now he's saying in raid buffs, you're no longer prioritizing Gnashing Fang anymore. You do not prioritize this for raid buffs anymore. If you have to make a choice, you're literally gonna do Burst Strike into Hyper Velocity now. I get it. This is 600 potency. Which tank you liking the most? I've seen everything. My gut. So here's my thing, Soviet. My gut is telling me Dark Knight is not as dead as everyone thinks it is. Gunbreaker's still good. Gunbreaker Paladin are probably still gonna be the speed tanks. But I honestly believe if Dark Knight shapes up to be as good as it's looking on paper, Dark Knight can kind of fill in that spot. It can kind of fill in that spot. I honestly think it can. It's like I said, everybody's like, "Oh, Dark Knight's in the grade. Dark Knight's in the grade." It's like it's not though. Like the only knock on it is that oh well, Living Dead is still a thing. Okay, cool. Here's the thing: Dark Knight didn't have to get a whole lot of tools to be, like yeah, you look. Oh well, fucking Gunbreaker got double down and hyper velocity. Gunbreaker has a few shiny new toys, and don't get me wrong, Gunbreaker is still strong. But Dark Knight's not as dead as everybody wants to make it out to be. The class is really strong, and it was funny because I was looking at it last night once everything came out. I actually took time to look at it because I knew that what we got was real. And I'll just go ahead and talk about Dark Knight real quick, just real quick. So you look at it, it's like, yeah, still get everything is still simple, still the same. The overall class did not change. But a couple of things that people aren't looking at. One, Salt and Darkness is insta cast. 500 potency, no fall off. So if there are ad phases, this shit is just gonna be busted. If there are ad phases in Savage, it's 500 potency, no fall off. You just do damage. Shadowbringer, meme this all you want. Shadowbringer is absurdly fucking strong. You get 2 charges, charge time of 60 seconds, 600 potency. And then I had to really study the Living Shadow. So Living Shadow, the new one is 300 attack, 300 potency, 24 seconds, 50 gauge cost. I was wondering why this was even here. Like it basically says, I'm not simulacrum. Is able to execute Shadowbringer, delivering an attack to all enemies in a straight line before you with opponents at 450. So I was wondering why this was even here. It literally confused me when I saw this tooltip. I was like, okay, we know it's going to use Shadowbringer. My brain didn't actually process that it's basically replacing the shadow no longer does flood of shadow. It no longer does this. This has been replaced by Shadowbringer. I was gonna say Endwalker. I was gonna say Endwalker. Um, Living Shadow. So essentially, Living Shadow does 300 potency for every attack that it does. It does 7 attacks total, with one of those attacks being Shadowbringer, which is 450 potency. So over the course of that, that's what? That's 3, that's 600, that's 900, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So that's 2250 potency. That's 2250 potency for Living Shadow. So I get a 2250 essentially dot every 2 minutes. So this will always be under raid buffs. This will always be under buffs because it'll be at 60 at 2 minutes. So like 2 minutes, trick goes up, litany goes out, all the buffs go out, and he snapshots buffs. Like it snapshots buffs. So all those buffs are up. So that's 2200 potency plus the buffs. Living Shadow is actually huge. Like, I was wondering why they made this like a thing, why they had to say it. It makes sense now. Dark Knight in burst windows is just going to shit damage. It's just going to absolutely shit damage. Dark Knight is still a ninja's best friend for RDPS. You as a ninja, you still want a dark because darks just pull MP and then they just take a complete and utter dump in your trick attack. Um, Blood Spiller. So the one thing that I noticed, and me and Rhythm talked about it, was Delirium. The fact that Delirium just grants 3 stacks and it's 30 seconds. Dark Knights are going to want those like 20-second pull counters. We're going to want them because we're going to essentially just open the fight with 3 Deliriums. Essentially, I'm thinking the way the opener is going to work, you will Delirium at 20 seconds. That way when it comes up, because I know Non said Trick is moving to 5th GCD. And looking at the new Gunbreaker rotation, we'll go back to the Rend video in a bit. Looking at the new Gunbreaker rotation, the new opener, that makes a lot of sense. Because Gunbreaker no longer is instant ramping its damage. It's no longer doing that. Hey, Jitter! Thanks for the sub, man. Appreciate it, appreciate it. Welcome back, homie. But yeah, so no tank. I think Dark Knight, when all the jobs people say are dead are absolute lows. Exactly. Like every job that they're claiming is dead under 2 minutes just shits damage. Just shits damage, dude. But like looking at it, Dark Knight is going, so Delirium might be weird if we actually do have to pre-pull use it. If we actually do have to pre-pull use it, Delirium will miss buffs, but everything else, but that's just it. Like, so the thing about Delirium missing buffs, and one of the things I've looked at is not as big of a deal because hold on, oh wait, 14 is telling me I need to move. Stop that. Okay, I was like, wait, what is that? 14 is telling me. Hold on. Let me go ahead and cheat this real quick. Let me go ahead. There we go. Let me go ahead and cheat that real quick. There we go. Okay, going back to what we were talking about. So. Dragoon might be overtuned. Honestly, probably. I wouldn't be surprised. I think all the jobs are looking good overall, way better than 5.0 balance. Exactly. Some of the changed earlier levels are questionable. Call Dragoon Life Windows pre-78 call. Jitter, get over it. But no, like if we have to pre-pull Delirium, it's not that big of a deal. Oh my god, I don't care. What is this? Amber Alert? I can't even see it to click out of it. Can I click out of it? Okay, some little white girl from Chattanooga, Tennessee is missing. Not my problem. Uh, so anyways, Delirium, like I said, pre-pull, 20 seconds. You open the fight with Blood Weapon. You do 1, 2, 3. You get 3 deliriums. That's 30 gauge. You then do your 1, 2. You do your hard slash into Siphon Strike. You're at 50. So at that point, what I'm thinking is, so that's what? Okay, so that's okay. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If Trick's going out here at 5th GCD, Trick's going out on our Siphon Strike. So once Trick goes out, so you would basically, I'm thinking the opener is, honestly speaking, I'm thinking you want to pre-pull pot. I'm thinking Dark Knight, because you're opening with 3 Deliriums, I'm thinking you actually do want to pre-pull pot. You want to pot at 2 seconds. I think Dark Knight honestly wants to pot at 2 seconds because you're opening a fight with 3 Deliriums. You open the fight with 1500 potency from 3 Blood Spillers. Alright, Blood Spillers 500, yeah. So you open the fight, you pre-pot at 2. You open, looking at it, Paladins will, every other class will want to pull, except maybe Gunbreaker. Gunbreaker maybe won't want to pull, but Dark Knight still doesn't lose anything on pulling. So, you open the fight, Blood Weapon, you open the fight on pull, pre-potted, Delirium at 20, pre-potted at 2, Blood Weapon on pull, you do 1, 2, 3, 3 Blood Spillers, go into hard slash Cypher Strike. At this point, you have 50 gauge. You're going to go Salted Earth into Living Shadow. Okay. Living Shadow comes out. He's going to do his thing. You got Salted Earth. Okay, cool. You're going to go Soul Eater, Carbon Spit, Abyssal Drain in your weave window. Hard Slash, Shadowbringer, Siphon Strike, Shadowbringer, Soul Eater, Salt and Darkness, and then you'll just loot. You know, all of that you're doing Edge of Shadows. Like, of course you have to. I didn't say the Edge of Shadow, but yeah, you do Edge of Shadow. Like, you will probably. You won't get. You could do the Edge, but that'll put you a GCD behind because you can't. Oh. If you're pulling, it's a little bit different. If you're pulling, I think you want to. If you have to pull the boss, I'm thinking you want to do your pre-pull delirium maybe like not at 20 seconds, maybe at like 18, 17 seconds. Because you want to account for the GCD that you're losing. Because you're not. You could open with like a Voke. But then it's like the Edge of Shadow is off GCD. So I'm thinking if you open with the Deliriums, the first Delirium will not be under Dark Side buff, which is kind of big, cause it loses what's that 10%? Cause Dark Side is 10%, right? Yeah, Dark Side is 10% damage. I had to think about it. So the first one would not be under Dark Side. Maybe. You could do like a. I don't think it's that big of a deal. Maybe you would Voke Edge or Shadow, Blood Spiller, Blood Spiller, Blood Spiller. Um, or you don't do it at 20 and or you don't do it at 20, you do it at like 18 seconds. Like 18, 17, you would do it at like 17 seconds. And you would do an unmend. You would still do an unmend even if you're not pulling. You would do an unmend and that like spins your GCD and that gives you the chance to do the Edge of Shadow. You get to do the Edge into the Blood Spillers. That might be the way to go actually. Looking at it, that might be the way to go. You unmend into Edge into 3 Blood Spillers, 1, 2, 3. And then the rotation loops. I have to play around with it, but that's kind of like what I'm in. It's kind of like what's in my head now. So in that first burst window, you would essentially, so you're not gonna have a delirium in that first burst window. That's not gonna be there. If you're pre-pull deliriuming, you're not gonna have the 3 blood spillers in that first. Actually, delirium might be from that point on. Delirium's gonna be like on a weird timing. But every 60-second burst, you will have blood weapon every 60 seconds. You will have carbon spit, abyssal drain. Um, you just won't have these. You just won't have the 3 blood spillers, but you could still have 2, right? Yeah, you could still have 2 blood spillers every 60 seconds, along with 3 edge of shadows. So it'd be 2 blood spillers, 3 edge of shadows. You would have a shadow bringer, and then you have your carbon spit and abyssal drain. So in a trick window, you would have, what is this? This is 150 potency, 150, 600. That's what Shadowbring. Yeah, Shadowbring 600. If you get 2 blood spillers, that's 1,000. Um, because blood weapon should give you 2 blood spillers in that window. And then you would get 3 edge of shadows, right? Yeah. So that's 400 potency. That's 3 of these. That's 4, that's 8. 2. Well, that's 1200 potency. Every 60 seconds from that, you have the 360 potency from carbon spit. Of course, you get your plunges. You'd have your 2 plunges too. So that would be 150, 150. So that's 300 potency. Dark Knight is gonna shit damage in the 60-second windows. That 1 minute Dark Knight is just gonna shit damage. So I still think the class is good. It didn't have to change a lot. Like you look at Dragoon, Dragoon really didn't change a whole lot. Dragoon at its core is still Dragoon. It's like they have the new skill that they proc off doing a full combo. Um, they have the lance charge changes or blood for blood, as some people call it. They have 2 charges of that. Dragoon at its base is still Dragoon. It's like the rotation has been tweaked slightly, but Dragoon is still Dragoon. It's gonna shit damage. It's just going to shit damage, and I feel like Dark Knight is going to be the same way. It's just going to shit damage. People could be like, "Oh, dead class. Class is dead." It's just like, it's not. Class isn't dead. It's still very much alive. Um, I don't know. I'm looking forward to playing Dark Knight. In all honesty, um, Salt and Darkness is kind of interesting because when you play Salted Earth, it's 15 seconds. I'm wondering if you can do some shenanigans to where you can maybe squeeze out to it. I doubt it. I would love it if the server tick was kind enough because it's 15 seconds. So when you use Salted Earth, it doesn't tick around. It's not like it's a GCD, so you don't have to wait for the GCD to like come back around. You use Salted Earth, it instantly becomes Salt and Darkness. So I'm wondering if you hit Salt and Darkness instantly, maybe if the server tick is kind enough, you can hit it again before the effect falls off. Maybe. I doubt it. I doubt it'll work that way. If the server tick was kind enough, maybe. I doubt it. But if it did, then that would be pretty nice. That would be pretty nice. In all honesty, all they would have to do to make that viable would be to extend Salted Earth by 3 seconds. Extend Salted Earth by 3 seconds, and then Salt and Darkness just becomes busted. You get 2 of these. And I know that would make Dark Knight just stupid. Because you would get 2 Salt and Darknesses in every 90 seconds. So that's just 1,000 potency every 90 seconds. I feel like that on top of what Dark Knight already has is really fucking massive. But if we have to pre-pull Delirium, then in the opener, the place of the Deliriums, or the Blood Spillers is literally just gonna be Shadowbringer. It's gonna replace 2 of the Blood Spillers, and Salt and Darkness will replace the other one. So you're still getting the same potency in that initial burst window. You're still getting the same potency. Um, actually, it's a little bit stronger because you get 2 Shadowbringers, which is 1200, and then you have 1 Salt and Darkness, which is 500. So it's a slight potency gain in the opener. And Dark Knight's already known to be one of the burstiest classes in the opener. This just makes it better. And in all honesty, if you add in like the 3 Blood Spillers from Delirium, that just makes the. I honestly think Dark Knights will want to pre-pull Delirium. Because I feel like if you have this in the opener, it's just going to be really complicated and convoluted. And I don't think you'll be able to fit everything in there. What is Trick Attack? Is Trick 10 seconds? Oops, anyone know what to do? Trick is 10 seconds, right? Ninja, Trick Attack. Trick Attack for 15, okay. 15 seconds. Okay. Maybe, I still don't think you'll be able to fit everything in that 15-second window. I still don't think you'll be able to fit everything in. I still feel like that's a tight window. I still feel like that window is too tight for Dark Knight. If you have the 3 Blood Spillers, I still feel like that's too tight. Yeah, I feel like that would be too tight. Because you would have 3 Deliriums, so let's say we run a 2.40. Right? That's 6 seconds to do 3 Deliriums. The weaving would be insane because you're trying to weave a lot in that window. Something would drift out of it. Something would naturally not hit within the trick, I think. Yeah, Sarah, we're talking about Dark, my baby. Because everybody's like, Dark's in the grave. It's actually not. Dark Knight is actually really fucking strong. I know people look at the mitigation, but like even if you look at the mitigation, you look at what Dark Knight can do in Prague, and Rend touches on it, and it was something I've been saying literally since like the tooltips leaked. Dark Knight has so much like party-wide mitigation in the sense that it can literally oblation 2 party members and Blackest Night 1. So you can in theory mitigate 3 people, and then on top of that, if it's magic damage, cool. 1 person has Blackest Night, 2 people have Oblation, and then you Dark Missionary. Like that's just a lot of raid wide mid. Because here's the thing, no raid wide is going to kill a tank. Let's just stop right here. No raid wide is going to kill a tank. This TVN being on me during a raid wide doesn't need to be there. I could put this on a healer who has a Vone stack. Alright? I could put this on a healer who has a Vone stack. I could put this oblation on 2 DPS that maybe have weak magical defense. Boom. Everybody's okay. My TBN procs, the oblation helps these two, helps the 2 DPS. And then the Dark Missionary, if I put that up, also, that's 10% raid wide mitigation. So these 2 people who have the oblations are receiving 20% mitigation. The person with the TBN on it got like literally, this person is literally just unkillable. And then the Dark Knight, to get the proc from it, so, to get the free Edge of Shadow, whatever. That's not even the important part. It's just Dark Knight's raid-wide mitigation is actually not as bad as people think. It just requires a higher skill cap. It's like the ability to know what I need to do to make sure. It requires a tank that can actually see the field of play and understand what's going on. Okay, cool. My healer has a Vone stack. Both of my DPS are not exactly top. We just res the healer. There's no time. Okay, cool. I'm going to oblation the 2 weakest, the 2 DPS that are at the lowest. I'm going to hit missionary because if it's a raid wide, it's going to be magical. We already know this. It's going to be a magical raid wide. Boom, Dark Missionary's up. That's 10%. The 2 DPS, okay, they're kind of low. Okay, cool. They got oblation. The healer who like just res, I can Blackest Night this person so they don't die again. Boom, everybody's okay. Like no one will die. If a Dark Knight is good, unless the party severely fucks up, no one should die with a Dark Knight in the party. And if you look at it just like how Dark Knight can use this for itself, like, bro, on a Magic Buster, And I know Zeno be like, oh, I hate this cooler, oh, I hate Dark Mind. And here's the thing, all the respect in the world to Zeno. All the respect in the world to him. But his word is not law. He is not the Bible for tanks. He is not the Bible of 14 players. And I wish like hell his fan base would just stop hanging on his every word. Don't get me wrong. Zeno's a smart guy. Love him to death. But he is not the end all be all for tanks. What he says is not the Bible. What he says is not 100% fact. He says the Blackest Night is not the strongest cooldown in the game, and I agree with him. It's not. But I do think he undervalues TBN a lot. But the reason he undervalues it, literally, if they just remove this, he would stop hating TBN. If they just remove the MP cost, because this is all he hates about TBN. He just hates how it's tied to damage. And I agree with him 100%. TBN should cost nothing. Why is every other tank can use their little mitt with no cost? Alright, if you want to put TBN at 25 seconds and lower it to a 20% shield, go ahead. Just take the MP cost off of it. I do agree. He says a lot of people hype TBN up. People hype TBN up. I'm sorry, Zeno might not like to hear this. TBN's good, bro. You just gotta face facts. Is it the strongest cooldown in the game? No, it's not. No one is saying it is. And the people who are saying that need to stop. No one's saying it's the strongest cooldown, but it's not dog shit like he sometimes. You will hear him talk about it and he'll kind of make it seem like TBN is dog shit. It's not. TBN is a really good cooldown. It's really valuable. I think it's strong. You know, his whole thing is warrior can heal himself. Yeah, whatever. But it's kind of like every warrior I've ever talked to said, as it stands now, the healing only makes sense when you're in a release window, because that's the only time you can really just heal yourself a lot. TBN is stupid. It's a good skill. It's not dog shit like Zeno sometimes makes it seem. This is a good skill. This is a good skill. I promise you it's a good skill. Please don't think it's bad. You know, and people can take that how they want to take it. They can go look at my logs or whatever they want to say. Ah, blah blah blah. TBN's good. Get over it. It's good. All right. I'm gonna be honest with the amount of shit that Dark Knight has. This button is like not even important. Living Dead isn't even important. This isn't even a factor anymore because nothing can kill me. Literally nothing can kill me. If a buster is magical, which some busters are, some like what I've learned is multi-hitting busters tend to be sometimes on the physical side. Single hitting busters tend to be magical. No magical buster will kill me. Like here's the thing. I don't need the Living Dead a magical buster if I just here, and then boom. I can literally just kitchen sink the buster. If it's magical, it will not kill me. I don't need the Living Dead. People don't like Living Dead. I don't like Living Dead. And Prague, that's the thing about Blackest Night. And week 1 Prague, it will always proc. It never won't. Like the thing about Blackest Night was in Crafted Gear week 1, Ramu would instantly bust my TBN first auto, boom. First auto, boom, TBN's broken. Once you get to BIS, yeah, it becomes a little bit whatever. But that's just it. TBN, making sure it proc, no Xeno be like, oh, if it doesn't proc, you're fucked. Well, then you don't understand the lay of the fight. You have to understand when is the best usage of TBN going to be. When am I going to get the best usage out of it? Here's the thing. A lot of people just use TBN on cooldown. That's not necessarily how you want to use it. You're not just using it on CD in prog. You want to use it where you're going to get the most usage out of it. Because like when we were progging T, I knew I wanted to put my TBNs in BJCC. And it's just kind of like what I told Rithen. Rithen gets more TBN usages than me in whatchamacallit, but mines were better for the healers. I think I got one less TBN than Rithen, but mines were better placed, right? Because I always put mines in points where there was going to be just a steady flow of I know Brute's finna be busting my ass, and I know the healers are dealing with other shit. So I was like, okay, cool. I know right here is where I'm really on the verge of getting dangerously low. So I'm going to TBN here, save the healer some grief. while they deal with healing people in the water stack or doing whatever else it is they need to do. TBN, when used right, is really strong. When used wrong, it can be a pain in the ass. It is what it is. Um, Living Dead, yeah, I agree. I agree, Jitter. If they changed Living Dead, it wouldn't be. People would not complain about Dark Knight nearly as much. I do agree with that. But at this point, they have just kind of made it. Whoever is designing Dark Knight just doesn't understand at this point that this is the way Living Dead functions is bad. It's bad, like hands down. Living Dead is bad. I will not argue that it is the worst invuln in the game. If used right, it can be really good if you can milk that 10 seconds. And if you can milk out the full 20-second like duration of it, it's really good. If not, let's put it out there. Living Dead is bad. All right, it requires too much brain power to milk the full 20. What's up, honey? I do think Living Dead could be better, 100%. And I've been saying it for the longest. They can make Living Dead better by adding convalescence abilities, convalescence effect to it. You receive 20% more healing while under the effect of Walking Dead. That way, healers aren't like spamming 4 or 5 GCDs into you. Maybe they get it done with like I believe it should affect every heal, whether it be an off GCD or GCD. If I drop to 1 and a healer does an essential dignity on me, it should literally essential dignity should receive 20% more if that is used on me. Like it's wild. I do wish they would change Living Dead, but at this point it is what it is. I mean, maybe, we need to go on the forums and really Dark Knight mains need to really be vocal about this cuz it is bad. Don't get me wrong. Living Dead is really fucking bad and it does need to change. But I mean, at this point, it's been the same way for what 6 years. Nothing we can really do about it. So nothing can really be done about this. It's been the same for 6 years. There's really nothing to be done. But Dark Knight, the amount of mit that it has for just the party in general is just fucking stupid. It's like this is just really dumb and really good. I love it. I love it. Um, and like I said, Living Shadow. Living Shadow, busted. This is 2250 potency. This is busted. This is busted as hell. This is busted as hell every 2 minutes. Every 2 minutes I shit damage. And it's going to be on the raid boss because everybody's a 60-second class. Everybody's a 60. So this every 2 minutes is going to be busted. Now, one of the things you will run into, and one of the things I'm wondering is, do you save a shadow? Do you save a shadow bringer and do 2 shadow bringers in the 2 minute windows, or do you use it every 60 seconds, knowing you're only gonna get one shadow bringer in that 2 minute window? There'll be a lot of debate on that. I can tell you that right now. There will be a lot of debate on that. Um, I'm not sure. I'd have to see flow of the fights, how everything lines up. Is it because you're skipping out on a 60 window to burst harder in a 2 minute. And so when you look at it, the 2 minute depends on your comp. Literally, yeah, it would. If you're running, so I honestly think if you're honestly, it might just end up that way because if you look at it like litany every 2 minutes, right? If that shit crits, as if it's like if you run Dragoon, Bard, Scholar, you're probably gonna want to pull these for the 2 minutes because you're just going to battle voice, litany, chain strat. There's no way these don't direct hit crit, right? There's no way Shadowbringer doesn't direct hit crit. There's no way. Battle voice, litany, chain strat. There's no way it doesn't direct hit crit. Fucking divination, huge, huge damage every 2 minutes. It would depend. I say it depends on the comp. Honestly, yeah, it would on whether you pull them together or you blow them. and there'll be those weird windows where Salted Earth is also up, cause it's 90. There will be like weird awkward windows depending on fight length where in a 2 minute window Salted Earth does come up. It'll be weird. It'll be weird. But then it's like in that 2 minute window you have an extra 500 potency. So yeah, it's gonna be interesting. This I'm gonna be honest with you, I can't wait to play this. I can't wait to play this class. Dark Knight, after really sitting down and looking at it like over this past morning, it's really strong. Now, my only other gripe with it, this skill right here, Blood Weapon. Why is this not on charges? And when Yoshi was asked about that, Mr. Happy, I think, yeah, Mr. Happy said he asked him about it in his interview. And Yoshi said it doesn't seem like there's a big demand for Blood Weapon to be on charges. Well, it's time to go make a forum post and make this a demand. Blood Weapon should not be 10 seconds. So here's the thing. You want to keep Blood Weapon on you want to not put it on the charge? Extend it to 11. Extend it to 11 seconds. Please. Please. And I know that seems weird, 11 seconds, but you literally no longer have to stress about the skill anymore. Like, if you want to not put it on charges, extend the duration by 1 fucking second, and you literally fix Blood Weapon. You literally fix Blood Weapon. Just extend it by 1 second, and you literally fix it. That's all they have to do. That's all they have to do. Well, you don't like 11 seconds? Then cool. Extend it to 12. I don't care. Extend it to 12 if you want. But right now, it's too tight of a skill to optimize fully. And I don't like to sit up there and be staring at my GCD rolling to know when to hit Blood Weapon, and the animation lock is so damn long that if you hit it too early, you're not going to get them. And if you hit it too late, you're going to clip. Like, Blood Weapon is dog shit to use, and I hope they change it. I really do. Either put it on charges or extend it by 2 seconds. That's literally all you have to do. You do that, you fix Blood Weapon. Blood Weapon is fixed. Dark Knight is in a better place overall, right? Overall, it is in a much better place. But like I said, this class isn't dead. Living Shadow is cracked. Um, Fucking Shadowbringers is really good. Salt and Darkness is good. Dark Knight did not. It didn't change, and it didn't need to. It's like I don't think Dark Knight needed to be redesigned. It's not one of those classes that need to be redesigned. They have chosen how they want Dark Knight to be. Because Dark Knight is so edgy and so many people love to play it, they want Dark Knight to be really new player friendly. They want Dark Knight to be one of the new player friendly. And you look at Warrior and Dark Knight, those are like new player friendly tanks. Warrior you get at the start or when you start the game. You know, it's one of two tanks you can choose. Alright? It's one of two tanks you can choose at the start. You can be a warrior, you can be a paladin. Some people, yeah, warrior man, fell clean. Like, yeah, those people are gonna want to play warrior. And warrior is very new player friendly. Dark Knight is very new player friendly. Paladin and Gunbreaker require spreadsheets to optimize your damage, alright? And some players are not gonna be there yet. You know, but like I said, the players who are gonna suck, and the players who are gonna be good are gonna be good. At the end of the day, that's what everything boils down to. If you wanna suck, you're gonna suck. If you wanna be good, you're gonna actually put forth the effort to be good. All I want for people is to realize Dark Knight's not dead. It's not in the grave. Please stop letting Zeno put this in your head. And I hate to say it, but it's mostly him. Please stop letting him put this in your head that Dark Knight is a bad class. But I know he does it as a meme. I understand that he's not 100% serious because he'll always say all 4 tanks are viable. And he's not wrong. All 4 tanks will be viable in Prague. At the end of the day, the viability of the tanks will come down to people who speed run. And the thing about this, I'm going to touch on this and I'm going to say this and I'm going to let it go. When people be in Zeno's chat hollering about classes are dead, and you find these people in the game and they fucking suck dick, it's just the funniest thing ever, dude. It's the funniest thing ever to see people hollering, oh, Dark Knight's dead. Dark Knight sucks. Then you look at their parses and they're like week 13 clearers and they're clearing in gray, even though they got 13 weeks of gear. It's like, please stop talking. Please stop. Like, actually stop talking. Because you have no idea what you're talking about. But there's a lot of that And there's a lot of that in the Xeno community. And like I said, Xeno is who he is. He has his he has his personality. He is who he is. He's going to be Xeno. But at the end of the day, I don't like his chat anymore. Xeno's chat is full of the biggest idiots I've ever seen, fucking ever. Everybody's just so quick to just, oh, Dark Knight's dead, oh, in the grave. It's not. It's not. Dark Knight's gonna shit damage, guaranteed. All right. But with that being said, I actually want to watch Ren's video on Dark Knight because I actually didn't watch. I know we were in the middle of watching the Gunbreaker, but I actually didn't watch his Dark Knight video, so I want to watch that. What is he doing, Ren? What? Okay, Let, let's watch this.
Hi everybody, I'm Rin, and I recently got to attend the Final Fantasy XIV media tour for the expansion Endwalker, and it was awesome because I got to trial Dog Knight. Oh, my bad. Apparently I got to trial Dark Knight at level 90, and this is awkward. Let's just get to the video, yeah?
Fucking Ren.
If I disclosed all of the information about Dark Knight, I'm not sure I would have enough time. However, what I can say is that Dark Knight excels at magic mitigation, as well as single target mitigation for the party or themselves.
Yep.
With the addition of Oblation in this expansion of Endwalker, we have only seen this further improved and reinforced. Oblation is a 10% mitigation that you can put on any party member or yourself, and it has 2 charges, meaning that theoretically, you could Blackest Night 1 person and double Oblation 2 people.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna agree with you, Jitter. This Rude cosplay is great, bro. I fucking love it.
For a grand total of almost half the party mitigated. Isn't that something? Moving on. Salted Earth received a new effect. Now, when you place it on the ground, it still deals damage over time. However, it also allows you to use another ability. Salt and Darkness. Salt and Darkness.
I'm gonna message this motherfucker later.
While the duration of Salted Earth is up.
I'm gonna message him later.
Everything within it is going to be blasted to Kingdom Come. I'm talking 500 potency attack, which is subject to change. If being the flagship job of Shadowbringers wasn't enough, looks like Dark Knight's taken that whole expansion with him. That's right. At level 90, you will get an AoE line attack called Shadowbringer. This has 2 charges on a 60-second recast. Now I know what you're thinking. Whoa, I'm just going to use it on cooldown. 2 in the opener, 1 every trick attack window.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Okay.
Illuminate the scenario for you.
Yep. Okay, so you do.
Stack at the 1-minute window until 2 minutes. Well, that's right. That means that you will now put in 2-minute buffs without losing a use.
That's what I thought.
Every 2 minutes. Salted Earth is unfortunately still a 90-second cooldown, but we'll make do. Now I've run the numbers, and assuming potencies don't really change, it looks like all 4 tanks are going to be in line with each other, within an extremely close amount.
Really?
Now again, potencies are subject to
Change.
I wouldn't go guaranteeing anything just yet, but
Potencies won't change that much.
looking good. Now sit back as we go over the things that changed, the things that didn't, and show your rotation. I've got some thoughts on Blood Weapon later on in the video. I hope you'll enjoy them.
I love Rend. No change. Plus 5%. 10%. 18%. Yeah. Bissell Drain. Yeah, Bissell Drain. 25%. 20. So you would pull them for 2 minutes. Okay. Alright. That's all I need to know. I know what my opener and rotation is going to look like.
While I'm super happy that Delirium is going to a 3-charge system and will no longer be contingent upon latency for execution, I want to discuss Blood Weapon and a restriction it imposes that could be easily missed when playing with exceptional latency close to the servers. Blood Weapon is extremely strict, and landing all 5 GCDs for full value is incredibly difficult.
Yes, it is.
Delirium is super lenient by comparison.
Yes.
Now, I said GCD specifically because, well, a few of our Dark Knight GCDs are actually spells.
Correct.
This means they have a flat 2.5 second recast and they're not affected by skill speed. This leads me to my next notion. I believe we could only stand to benefit from Unmend, Unleash, and Stalwart Soul becoming unexpected weapon skills as opposed to remaining unexpected spells. I know in the past that Dark Knight spells cost mana, and I'm willing to bet that's a reason why the abilities have remained spells to today. I'm also willing to bet that this is something that probably hasn't been brought to light too often, so it's extremely possible that players don't even know that this issue occurs unless you're somebody who suffers from it directly.
Yes.
Managing when to blood weapon around your AoE combo in a multi-target situation becomes more of a nuisance than a strategical decision.
Yeah,
As you only stand
yeah.
to lose out on what you would otherwise gain with
Gain,
single
yep.
target weapon skills. On that notion,
It's
it's
stupid.
also a common practice for Dark Knights to use blood weapon pre-pull as they approach the boss in an encounter. Due to the nature of Unmend being a spell, and therefore a 2.5 second recast, in addition to the already strict timer of Blood Weapon, this almost definitely guarantees a loss of a GCD under the effect of Blood Weapon. Now, if Blood Weapon were to be placed on a stack system, as Delirium will be, I don't feel there would be an egregious discrepancy, nor an unfair advantage to Dark Knight power levels. Instead, I feel they would get a much-needed quality of life change that would really only stand to level the playing field of players of various latencies around the
Thank
globe.
you!
What do you all think? Have you experienced this before? Do you feel this would be too strong of a change?
So
or
his
too
blood weapon proposal grant 5 stacks of blood weapon, increase blood gauge by an additional 10 upon yep, okay. 18-second duration, but you get 5 stacks. This would be huge. This would be huge. Like you literally you can't not get the 5 GCDs then. Unless a fight forces you away in the middle of it. But even then, bro, it's like 18 seconds. That's like damn near impossible to fuck up. No, I like this. Either this or just extend it by 2 seconds. If they don't want to do the stack system for blood weapon because they feel like if they feel this gives an unfair advantage, literally just keep it the same, extend it by 2 seconds. You will get the 5 GCDs. If it's extended by 2 seconds, you will get them.
It's nice food for thought, but we are here to look at what we got to experience at the media tour, and Dark Knight feels super sweet. Let's continue. Salted Earth now grants you the access to a new OGCD, Salt and Darkness. Salt and Darkness is a 500 potency AoE to anything standing inside of the Salted Earth. To use it is pretty simple. You simply activate Salted Earth again, and it pulses the Salt and Darkness. However, if you don't activate Salt and Darkness before Salted Earth expires, you lose the use. I have demonstrated an example below. I have demonstrated an example of losing it, as well as activating it below.
That attack is gonna be cracked, dude.
We touched on this earlier, but I'll say it again. Shadowbringer is an OGCD line AoE that does 600 potency to the first target struck and 300
God damn
potency
it.
to
God
the
damn it,
base.
Ren.
It has a
Have you
60
heard the
recast
critically
and holds
acclaimed
2 charges,
OGCD?
so it's best saved for every 2-minute burst window. That's really all there is to it. It's short and sweet. Dark Knight did not receive a whole lot of changes, but honestly, the class is solid. Its rotation's relatively simple, and its complexity lies in mana management. Would I like it to be more involved? Sure. Do I need it to be? No. I think it's a great tank. And honestly speaking, after getting to try all 4 tanks at the media tour, I really do feel like they're super close to each other. Delirium's been changed. It's no longer a 10-second duration buff. Now they give you 3 stacks of Delirium, and the time don't matter.
Yep.
It matters a
A little
You
bit,
actually
yeah.
have 30 seconds to use your stacks, which does mean that you could pre-pull Delirium if it's going to net you a use in the long run.
In the long
And
run.
now we'll let the rotation play out while I just go over some of my thoughts. So Dark Knight feels really strong. I played it fairly extensively alongside the other tanks, and it feels like it's keeping up pretty well. It's going to have a big burst every 2 minutes, with some moderate damage in between. Did it receive some new flashy tank mitigation? No, not really. It got Oblation, which is going to allow the Dark Knight to help mitigate the party members who may not be in stacks for the party, or might need a little bit of an extra oomph.
Right.
I know a lot of people are going to see this and think, Dark Knight sucks. Guess I need to go level up another tank. Please, 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 don't do that. Instead, look at it this way. Dark Knight didn't get anything extraordinary because it was already incredibly solid. Heading into progression as we approach the Endwalker expansion and the Pandemonium raids, I know that I, personally, will be leveling up every tank as I see merits in all of them. I hope that's enough confidence to instill in you to give it a shot too. Remember, not everything has to be big and flashy, and if you want something fun, go try Reaper. It was so much fun! Alright, that's going to be all from me on Dark Knight. I want to make another note that again, potencies are subject to significant change, and they probably already have been by the time of this video. If you liked Dark Knight, please consider checking out my Gunbreaker and Warrior videos as well. And if you have any questions that weren't covered in this video, or any other deep dive information you'd like to see, let me know. I'd be happy to go into it. Like, I don't know, when's a situation when we would go into pre-pull Delirium, and how many Edge of Shadows should I be using in each burst? Do we do 5-2-5 because we only have 2-minute buffs now? Or what do we do, Rin? What do we do? What do we do? I'm just messing. No, seriously though, combos don't break for 30 seconds according to the media test build, so please please keep that in mind. That's super awesome. I can't say it enough. Okay, thank you. Bye.
That's actually really, yeah. That's actually really huge. Like, combos not breaking for 30 seconds. Like, that's huge, dude. I'm gonna like that one. I think it's kind of weird that Oblation isn't a TBN trait since Heart of Stone, Showtron, and Raw Tuition got beefy upgrade. It's like Dark needs 2 bullets to do what the other tanks can with 1. I see the versatility of the jobs. Already got no OGCDs to deal with on Surprise Blood Weapon and get the delirium treatment. This is needed more, and it's weird we still have spells that are unaffected by skill speed. I think it's like Ren said, no one has brought this to the team's attention. They're not thinking about it. They're not thinking about it because they don't think about it on a highly optimized level. On a highly optimized level, they don't think about that. They don't think that, oh, it interacts differently with their AoE. Oh, we need to change that. And I think it's just a matter of Dark Knights bitching too much in like comments of videos instead of like on the forums where the development team can like have these things brought to their attention. The thing about the JP community, they are very vocal on the forums about things that they like and dislike. And the thing about it is the NA community are only vocal about certain things. It is what it is though. You can say, well, Dark Knight can. Well, okay, so I'm gonna comment on this. Dark needs 2 buttons to do what the other tanks can do with 1. Not necessarily. You look at the other tanks, it's like, oh, okay, what do the other tanks have? They have Nascent Flash, or what is it, Bloodwetting on Warrior. You have a Heart of Corundum, and then you have Intervention. Yeah, Intervention. Yeah, I think about it. It makes sense that those classes, that their skills work like that, and it also makes sense that Dark Knight just got a new skill added to accomplish that. Dark Knight is a solid class, and it did not need to change. Like, there are a couple of things I wish about Dark Knight. I wish it still had Soul Survivor. I do wish it still had Soul Survivor. That would be great. Um, I like Ren's takes on it. Ren has a really good take on Dark Knight. It could be a lot better, but I don't think Dark Knight needed to change too much. I like the class. I like how it plays. I'm not gonna bitch about it. So.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rin.
Me too.
Sure you are.
Hi.
And we're here to give you an inside look to the Endwalker Media Tour's Warrior. Please note, the version of the game that we got to test Endwalker on is still in development, and as such, anything you see is subject to significant change.
Yeah, mumbo jumbo, let's get on with it.
Hey now, this is important stuff.
Yeah.
Well, if you're gonna talk about important stuff, you should at least mention the fact that there are so many people around the world that are working so hard to help us fight back COVID. All of those medical personnel and first responders. They deserve our love and our thanks. All of the good feelings in our hearts.
You're absolutely right. And it's because of them that we are able to be in a better place today than when this all began. Thank you. Alright, who's ready to get into Warrior? Let's do this.
Oh yeah, Yoshi
In this
wanted
video,
that.
we will see potency changes, new abilities, upgraded abilities due to traits, our offensive priorities, our defensive priorities, the prospective rotation from the Mediator build, which may change or may not, and our general thoughts. If at any point you wish to skip
Yeah,
ahead,
his videos are
there'll be
really
chapters
good.
down
Ren's
below.
videos are
We have a
really
lot of
fucking
changes in
good.
potency, and while damage has been reduced across the board, I thought it might be nice to show you the percent differential between abilities, so you can see how they kind of compare to one another within the confines of the job. What you see here are changes to single target offensive potency,
Damn, Warrior got
multi-target
gutted.
offensive potency, and defensives that received no change. If you don't see an ability listed, that means it has undergone changes, and we will go over it later in this video.
But I like how everybody talk about Dark Knight and the Great Warrior. Justice, boy.
Let's discuss the basic
Let
flow
me be
of
quiet.
warrior combat. Up first, we we have the Storm's Eye combo. This is how you'll start every boss encounter. You'll begin with Heavy Swing, which is your combo starter, followed by Maim, which grants you 10 Beast Gauge, and finally, Storm's Eye. Storm's Eye is mostly the same. It grants you 10 Beast Gauge, as well as increases your damage by 10% for 30 seconds. The difference here is the Storm's Eye buff has been changed to Surging Tempest. Subsequent uses of Storm's Eye or Mithril Tempest will add 30 seconds to your timer, while Inner Release will add 10, up to a maximum of 60 seconds. Alright, if you've played Warrior before, then you already know about the Storm's Path combo. I'll go over it again just in case you need a refresh.
Look at me with the sciencey-wiancy. Look, I'm gonna break it down for you real easy. More path means more gauge. Massive gauge means more cleaves. More cleaves means more damage. More damage means the boss dies. We're simple-minded tanks, but it's honest work.
Inner Release is no longer a 10-second buff. It now grants 3 stacks of IR and 1 stack of Primal Rend ready. Both of these buffs have a duration of 30 seconds, meaning you could theoretically use it pre-pull or use it during downtime. I do not suggest using it pre-pull, as you're going to infuriate Inner Chaos anyway, which is going to consume a stack of IR and desync your whole burst. It's also possible that any of these buffs across the jobs that are now on a stack system that can be used pre-pull may not be usable outside of combat due to the nature of how long it will take for everybody to prep now.
Yeah, basically it means you're gonna use like 65 Fell Cleaves in a row, and then you're gonna run the enemy for 16 more Fell Cleaves. Is that right? Do we have it right? Is that what it's gonna be? I'm so excited.
Not so fast. Basically, what this means is you're going to be using 3 Fell Cleaves and 1 Primal Rend every burst window. Now, you can use Primal Rend while you're under the effect of Inner Release, as it does not consume a stack. Do watch out for Infuriate, because Inner Chaos does still consume a stack of IR. Now, because Inner Release is on a 3 GCD charge system, this means that OGCDs are now unaffected. So while Upheaval and Onslaught do not consume any Inner Release and do not automatically direct hit crit, you should still use them during your burst. Okay everybody, Primal Rend is our new shiny toy. This thing is awesome. It's a direct hit crit AoE
I love this.
gap
This
closer
looks so
on the
cool.
GCD that you can use once per minute.
It's an
under
AoE
the
gap
effect
closer.
of Primal
That's
Rend
so
which is granted by
stupid.
Inner
I
Release
love
and
it.
lasts for 30 seconds. You could use it immediately or hold on to it. My suggestion is to use it under raid buffs. Whether you use it during Inner Release or after Inner Release is going to be subject to the raid buffs up in your group at the time. For example, if you have Red Mages Emboldened, you're probably going to want to use it immediately. Up next, we have our 30-second OGCD offensive ability.
Alright, I know these ones. These are Hevo and Oreos. Oreos are brand new.
Oreos.
You're gonna pass them out to your friends. It's gonna hit everybody. But if you wanted to just have it by yourself, you can Hevo. And don't worry, they're free.
Actually, that's a pretty good way of explaining it. You almost covered everything. Upheaval no longer has a gauge cost, and it shares a cooldown with Orogeny, which is its AoE counterpart. One other notable change about Upheaval is it is no longer affected by Inner Release, meaning you're not guaranteed to get a direct hit crit while you're under the effect of IR, but you still want to use it on cooldown, which means that every other Upheaval or Orogeny will naturally be available at the same time as IR. We got some good news for you tank mains. Looks like they made all 4 tanks gap closers the same.
The same?
They're all going to be the same 2 charge gap closers with the same distance to gap close to the enemy.
No, that's not gonna work.
Homogenization in this instance is good, it's healthy.
I want 3.
What do you mean you want 3?
I want 3.
Do you need 3?
I need them.
Why do you need them?
It's a dire need.
I can't just give you a 3rd charge of Onslaught, it doesn't work that
If you don't
way.
do it, I'm gonna hold my breath.
Don't... Okay, alright, fine.
Oh yeah, 3 charges.
I
The tanks
fucking
have 3
hate
charges? Didn't think so.
One day you'll
Proper
level
business.
warrior.
Keep
Go
this
ahead,
train
Sayori.
Onslaught gets 3 charges.
Sayori, you're already gonna be better than me
Apparently,
at
we
Dark
have
Knight,
reports
so
of
go ahead.
bedwetting happening at level 82.
Bedwetting.
Alright, the new ability we have is called bedwetting. Not really sure why they decided to go with that name, but maybe it's because after you hear everything it does, you'll hardly contain yourself. Now, I'm not too good with this math thing, but it sounds like we're gonna have a whole lot of mitigation for a while, and then a little bit less mitigation for some time after that. Could you,
Sure, I've got you. Blood wetting is a 10% mitigation for 8 seconds with a 400 potency heal per GCD.
Okay.
This is great because we no longer have to pull gauge for Fell Cleaves. Now, we can just heal with whatever we happen to have on board. In addition to that, we do get Stem the Flow, which is 10% mitigation for 4 seconds, and a barrier
Okay.
for 30 seconds equal to 400 potency. This is where they were talking about timing your mitigation properly.
This is
We
what
get
they're talking
19%
about.
mitigation for the first 4 seconds, with 10% mitigation for the final 4 seconds. And we get a 400 potency shield for 30 seconds. Overall, Bloodwetting and Nascent Flash are now going to have amazing uses, and I can't wait to see the amount of damage we receive in Endwalker. Shake It Off is our party mitigation. The entire shielding effect of Shake is the same as last expansion, which you can see down below. What's new is that when you use Shake, everybody will receive a 300 potency heal as they receive the shield. And this is a level 76 trait, so you'll have it in Shadowbringers content like T. One really nice change that we saw at the media tour is Shake It Off and Divine Veil both received a heal on their mitigation. While Gunbreaker's Heart of Light and Dark Knight's Dark Missionary received no changes, I feel they were pretty strong as they were, as they last for multiple hits.
Yeah.
Equilibrium received a nice quality of life change. In addition to our 1200 potency heal, we now also have a 15-second long regen that heals us for 200 potency per tick. That is a grand total of 1000 potency from the regen and 1200 from the initial burst.
2200
While
potency
Homegang
heal.
also received a quality of life change. Everything about Homegang remained the same, with the exception of the duration going from 8 seconds to 10 seconds, in line with the other tank invulnerabilities.
That timing
now that
no longer
all 4
scares
tank
me.
invulns are 10 seconds long, it does make you wonder if we're going to have to utilize that exact duration in Endwalker.
So
what is
my thing, and I know he said that in the Gunbreaker video, if there's one thing I kind of maybe want to disagree with is that I don't think that they extended them, so we will utilize those extra 2 seconds in any type of content. I think, because here's the thing now, as it stands, you can cover every buster with them. It's just the timings are really tight. And I think they want to get away from tight timings, which, you know, you say that, and then you look at Blood Weapon, and it's just like, okay, you literally made every other change to reduce tight timings and to make things less stressful, but Blood Weapon. But again, we get on the forums, we make a big enough fuss about it, they'll look into it. Maybe it's something that gets changed going into the ultimate or into the raid tier. But I do think we do need to get on those forums. We do need to talk about this. We do need to let them know that this is an issue. Blood Weapon is an issue and it needs to be addressed.
What is our rotation on Warrior going to look like as we head into Endwalker? Well, let's take a look. For the purpose of this video, I will not be doing an opener in which you forego your Tomahawk. While it is a potency gain to open with Heavy Swing, Tomahawk allows for much easier boss positioning, and that is the reason why I have selected this opener. You'll begin the pull with Tomahawk into Infuriate. This will give you 50 gauge for your Inner Chaos. Proceed by putting up your Storm's Eye combo, which will give you Surging Tempest. Then use your Inner Chaos into Inner Release. During your Inner Release window, you will utilize 3 Fell Cleaves, 3 Onslaughts, 1 Upheaval, and 1 Primal Rend. If you have a Red Mage and you have Embolden, I would prioritize Primal Rend before the Fell Cleaves, as you will get more value out of it. From there, it's buff management. Storm's Path when you don't need more Surging Tempest gauge, and Storm's Eye when you do. Make sure you use your Fell Cleaves to prevent overcapping Beast gauge, use your Upheaval on cooldown, and save 2 Onslaughts for every 1 minute burst window. As long as you do this, and you don't overcap your Infuriate, you'll be good. I would say Warrior still has one of the more simple rotations. However, it looks like we're getting a bit more flexibility with what we can do. For example, we could use Inner Release during downtime, so that we have our stacks of Fellcleave when the boss returns. In the past, we've actually had a few situations where, due to downtime, we lost the use of Inner Release entirely simply because the boss wasn't there, or because the boss was going away shortly after pressing our 90-second cooldown. Now that Inner Release is a 60-second cooldown, that's going to change a little bit. However, I'm willing to bet that we're going to see at least 1 or 2 uses where this will apply in the future. So where do I think Warrior holds up? Well, I definitely think we're going to have a lot of fun with it in Endwalker. And if you want to try Warrior, I'd say go for it. Homegang being 10 seconds with the other invulns being 10 as well really brings the value of Homegang up, since the recast did not get longer. In addition to that, Shake It Off now has a heal attached, and Nascent Flash or Bloodwetting have really good properties to the mitigation. Flat mitigation, a heal, and a barrier. It really does do it all. When you combine that with a flat equilibrium heal that also has a regen attached, in addition to the cooldowns they already possess, Warrior's shaping up to be a really good tank yet again. However, it was Christmas come early for Paladin, and I really do feel like Paladin is such a strong contender that it would be hard not to bring one. Each of the tanks do bring something to the table, whether it be multi-hit percent mitigation, heals and shields, or whether it be multiple sources of mitigation across individual party members. There really is going to be an opportunity for each tank to shine, and I'm really excited to see what Endwalker has in store for us. Well, that's pretty much it. I think we've covered most of what we need to as far as Warrior is concerned, and any additional information with how I think tank balance is going to operate in Endwalker or changes I would like to see, I'll cover in another video. Thank you very much for hanging out, and once again, I would like to extend my greatest gratitude to Square Enix for having me be a part of the Endwalker Media Tour. It was an absolute blast, and I loved every minute of it. If you enjoyed this video, please consider checking out the other coverage videos I have from the Endwalker Media Tour. And if you had any questions, feel free to ask. Maybe there's something you saw in the video that caught your attention, or maybe there's something I didn't cover here. Maybe you even want to talk about another tank entirely or something else. I am all ears, and I'd love to hear what you have to say. Thank you very much, and I'll catch you next time.
Okay, so I will say this. Rend makes me want to play Warrior. This video actually makes me want to play Warrior. I'm not even joking. Like, okay, so the Warrior changes. Like I said, Warrior, a lot like Dark Knight, which we watched Rend's Dark Knight video already. Warrior, a lot like Dark Knight, it didn't really change too drastically, but again, they don't have to change drastically. A class does not have to be completely reworked. You just add on and improve upon. And they've said this in the live letter. We're not going back to Heaven's Ward. I know myself included and a lot of other people wish we can go back to Heaven's Ward. I look back on my Heaven's Ward videos. I look back on those off GCDs on Dark Knight. I wish I pressed them more. I didn't know how good I had it back then. But classes don't need to drastically change to be good. Like Ren said in his Dark Knight video, Dark Knight didn't have to get a lot of flashy new skills to be seen as good. It didn't need that. You don't need to be flashy to be good. Dark Knight got some quality of life. It got oblation, which is really good. Don't it's not the greatest cooldown ever. It's not that, but it is still really good. It's really solid. Shadowbringer. I'm glad Rand actually told me, because in my mind I was like, do you pull the two Shadowbringers for the 2-minute bust? And I'm glad he just put that. I'm glad he put that debate before I started like doing the math myself. I'm glad he put that debate to bed in my head. I didn't want to think about it, if I'm being quite honest. I didn't want to think about it. I'm glad he just said, yeah, you're gonna pull these every 2 minutes. Let it rip. Cool. Thank you. Um, all in all, like Dark Knight and Warrior, they didn't need to change a lot. They didn't. They did. They are perfectly fine classes that were already good. They're already solid. In Ren's Dark Knight video, I'm glad he said it. He's like looking at the math. All the tanks look to be really close to each other, and I'm hoping it is like that. Um, I'm hoping it is like that. I'm hoping that all the tanks stay relatively close to each other in damage. And it's just a personal preference. Because there's this thing like speeding is one thing, op is another, speed and op is another. But if you just really like to play Dark Knight, then just play Dark Knight. All of these tanks are good. I may not like Paladin, but if you enjoy playing Paladin, then play Paladin. If you enjoy playing Warrior, play Warrior. At the end of the day, all the tanks are going to be viable for Prog, and I'm pretty sure there may be some certain floors where one tank is better in speed than another one. You look at the speed runs, a lot of people, some of the top like 5 to 10, there were some classes that may not be considered meta, but they were good for that group's comp and how that group plays. At the end of the day, just play what you like. Be good at it. I'm going in Prague. I may play Gunbreaker. I may not. It depends on where my skill level with Gunbreaker is. Like I said, I message Ren quite a bit for Gunbreaker knowledge and advice, and I'll probably keep doing that. But it's just like play what you like to play. Play what you like to play. Play what makes you happy. All of these tanks are going to be good. All of these tanks are going to be good. All right. Don't think that they're not. I want to go back to his Gunbreaker video since that one got interrupted.
Get everything in buffs. Savage Claw and Abdomen Tear have received a 20% and 21% damage reduction respectively. But you know what? The biggest change to Savage Claw is that it now shares a keybind with Gnashing Fang, reducing hotbar bloat and operating much like PvP combos function. Just like Savage Claw, Wicked Talon is also on the Gnashing Fang keybind. Wicked Talon and Eye Gouge have received a 20% and 13% damage reduction, meaning the start of our Gnashing combo has received a larger reduction in potency, while the end of our combo has received a less staggering reduction. And that wraps up all of our weapon skills that are tied to continuation. Sonic Break had its potency reduced by 25%. Its initial damage is still 300 potency, while its damage over time has been reduced from 90 potency to 60 potency per tick for 30 seconds. This makes Sonic Break the second best GCD that you can use, leaving Double Down as your strongest. You know what? Lightning Shot stayed the same, except of course for the fact that it no longer breaks combo, which is pretty sweet. And since in the Mediator build it did look like our combo doesn't break for 30 seconds, it makes you wonder if we're going to get a lot of mechanics in Endwalker through the various encounters that cause us to have to disengage frequently, or for extended periods of time. Wouldn't that be something? Well friends, it looks like our Aoe combo has been sliced and slaughtered, receiving a larger potency cut than the other abilities we have in our kit. Demon Slice has received a 33% reduction in damage from 150 potency down to 100. Demon Slaughter has received a 36% decrease in damage, coming from 250 potency to 160 potency. We'll likely still be using the Demon Slaughter combo to generate cartridges in 2 targets or more, since the GCD to cartridge ratio is too good to pass up. Fated Circle received a 9% nerf, and while this may not seem like much, if potencies do not change, then we'll now use Burst Strike and Hypervelocity instead of Fated Circle.
That's kind of crazy that you won't do Fated Circle anymore.
Up to 300 potency to equal Burst Strike and Hypervelocity, or be stronger than that to beat Burst Strike and Hypervelocity. Bioshock has also had its damage reduced by 31%. The initial potency went from 200 on application to 150, while its damage over time went from 90 potency per tick for 15 seconds to 60 potency per tick for 15 seconds, for a grand total of 650 potency in Shadowbringers to 450 potency in the Endwalker Mediator build. Blasting Zone has had a damage reduction of 25%, leaving it at 600 potency in the Endwalker Mediator build compared to the 800 potency on the live servers in Shadowbringers. This is still a great OGCD, and you should be using it on cooldown. Every other use will be inside of your No Mercy, as expected. Rough Divide. This is our gap closer. The damage of Rough Divide was reduced by 25%, but the range was increased to 20 yalms, leaving it on par with all of the other gap closers now. The Warrior gets a third charge.
Yeah, I don't get why Warrior gets a third one, but alright, fam.
Now we can hold even more ammos to rip and tear. You'll still be using Bloodfest on cooldown, which means that every other use will be inside of No Mercy, though it may take a little while to get used to having 3 cartridges. I know I fumbled a little bit, thinking, oh no, I'm going to overcap when I was sitting at 2 at the Mediator build, but we'll get used to it. No Mercy has been unaffected. It is still
I wonder what he was trying to do right there when he opened his menu
for 20 seconds. After we conclude going over the skills, you'll get to see the rotation.
I wonder what he was trying to do.
You'll get to see how cool the
something with his hood.
Bloodfest No Mercy window is. Royal Guard is our tank stance. Turn it on.
I love Rend, dude.
Turn it off when you don't.
Turn it off when you don't.
Camouflage is also unaffected. It's still a 10% reduction for 20 seconds, while increasing your parry rate by 50% through the duration on a 1.5 minute cooldown. Nebula is our big damage reduction. 15 seconds of 30% mitigation on a 2-minute recast. Although, the new Heart of Corundum, which offers about 28% mitigation plus
28%,
a shield if you activate a shell, is a big contender. And when you use them together, Heart of Light has been completely unaffected, and still grants 10% magic mitigation to the party for 15 seconds on a 1.5 minute cooldown.
Heart of Light and Dark Missionary, I just love them.
Aurora
I just love those skills.
Still grants a regen to the target of your choosing, and it heals for the same amount that it healed for in Shadowbringers. However, now you have 2 charges. This is super cool. You can give yourself a regen and your co-tank if you have to share tank busters, or simply give it to 2 targets. Maybe somebody's out of range. Maybe 2 people are out of range. Maybe your healers are recovering and you're trying to get people healthy for an incoming raid wide. Well, now you have more options. And I think that's super cool, to give tanks an additional way to recover a pull. So this is something cool. All of the tank invulns now last for 10 seconds, while their recast timers stayed the same. Now I am curious. Since all of the tank invulns will be 10 seconds, it kind of makes you wonder what we could expect going into the next raid tier. Will we see?
I have to agree, but at the same time, I honestly think they're just doing this so you're not stressing. Because, like, that Buster and fucking Perfect, when you have to time Super Bolide to eat all 3 hits and then the final hit, if your latency or your ping is bad, you can die to it. Like I said, that Buster I had the Bolide in perfect. I was stressed out every time in speed. Every time in speed, I was stressed out about that Buster. I'm just like, is it going to kill me? Every time. I think Ren might be right. Maybe I doubt it because they don't really design content to be in a situation where it's like you have to utilize this to its maximum to live things. I think they just did it so you're not stressing anymore. I bet they looked at it and was just like, well, why are these two 10 and these two are 8? Let's just make them all 10. And somebody was just, an intern Coon was just like, yeah, let's just make them all 10. And Yoshi's like, okay, cool, make them 10. Not like it really changes anything. It'll actually make things easier. Like I said, that Buster and Perfect, I'm no longer afraid of it. I know I'm gonna live it. So, but if you do have to utilize all 10 seconds, that wouldn't be the worst thing. Um, it'll be good. I think they honestly just made this change so people don't have to stress anymore. Yeah, I think it's just like we don't want the players to stress. So here you go. It's 10 seconds. Don't worry about it.
See multi-hit tank busters that are forced to use the full duration? If you remember in Eden's Gate, Warrior was the only tank that could not mitigate through all of Titan's tank busters at
It
first. And they
could.
actually
You
buffed the
just
duration on
needed.
tanking. But now,
Cause
since
Michu
everything's
did
going to
it.
be 10
You
seconds,
could.
they
It's
kind
just
of make
like
you
the
wonder.
timing
And
was
with that,
so
that's
tight,
every action taken care
and
of.
it wasn't
I
worth
had
it.
the opportunity to sit down with Lamatod and hit a training dummy for a few minutes while getting to see how things lined up with Trick Attack with our new kit. Let's take a look at the tentative gunbreaker
Oh no, or would you
rotation for
mitigate the
Endwalker.
first one? Actually, you might have mitigated the first one, so I might be wrong. You might have mitigated the first one.
So you'll see I began with the Lightning Shot opener, into Keen Edge, Brutal Shell, Solid Barrel. You would potion at this time as you go into Keen Edge, No Mercy. Here, we open up our Gnashing Fang as you would expect.
So hold on, let me go
Bloodfest,
back. Let me
put
go
up our
back.
dot with our
I
AGCDs.
actually, cause this opener is really interesting, cause it's
Into
almost
Heat.
like it's going back to the Eden's Gate opener that everyone was using, almost.
So you'll see I began with the Lightning Shot opener,
Mhm.
into Keen Edge, Brutal
Keen
Shell,
Edge, Brutal Shell,
Solid Barrel.
Solid Barrel, get one
You
cartridge,
would potion
right?
at this time as
Pot.
you go into Keen Edge, No Mercy.
Okay.
Here, we open up our Gnashing Fang as you would expect. Bloodfest.
Gnashing
put up
Fang,
our dot
Bloodfest.
with
Oh,
our AGCDs
okay.
into our new Double Down. Get a Rough Divide on
Mmm.
cooldown as we finish our Gnashing Fang combo, and then get a Burst Strike combo as well, without fear of breaking our combo, due to the new rules of it not breaking for 30 seconds.
That's wild. This opener is gonna be
From
crazy.
there, we iron everything out. Now keep in mind, while I'm doing this rotation, we were on a Mediator test build with gear that was allocated to us, and as such, my skill speed was not optimal for what I would want to do with Gunbreaker. We were playing at a 2.46 GCD,
2.46.
and I
Ooh.
really would have enjoyed to play at 2.41 or 2.4. Now this is where I really had to think, because in my mind, I was overcapping. I
Right.
had to have the mental fortitude to think, oh yeah, hey, don't overcap. As we head right back into our No Mercy, with 3 cartridges, we get our Gnashing, our Double Down, puts us back at 0. Sonic Break goes out, Blasting Zone, Bow Shock, our Rough Divides, everything you need.
Okay.
And if your skill speed's appropriate, you will hit this Burst Strike
This Burst Strike.
and probably your Hyper Velocity as well.
Right.
However, due to my slow skill speed, that was not possible. You're going to have a Gnashing Fang come up with your Bloodfest. That's perfectly fine. You're going to use this Bloodfest. Do not hold it for the next No Mercy.
Okay.
As you go through 3 cartridges, you can expend them as you see fit,
Burst Strike, Hyper
and
Velocity.
we just start building up
Boom.
and staying close to cap as we prepare for our next No Mercy.
Then Burst Strike, Hyper Velocity
I will say,
into your
getting to play
Solid Barrel.
Gunbreaker
Yep.
at level 90 felt like riding a bike. If you are very intimate with the level 80 rotation, I feel this will be an easy transition. It's very intuitive, and it feels more like a quality of life change than anything else. They gave us an extra cartridge, but also something to use it on. Double Down is an amazing button to add into our kit, as they did nerf Sonic Break a little bit, and the rest of our kit saw decreases across the board. But Double Down is that big hitter that you're really going to want in every single No Mercy window. So if you know that it's not in your No Mercy, you've probably done something critically incorrect,
Incorrect. Yeah.
or
Yeah.
a downtime phase has crippled your ability to keep your rotation flowing.
Let's hope that doesn't happen.
Now this is our sweet window coming up. If you look in about 20 seconds, we're going to have our Bloodfest No Mercy window, and this is where we're going to have a lot of fun.
So you're just building
here,
cartridges
We're
here.
getting ready. We're building up on our third cartridge, and if you look, it's perfectly timed. Now, if we had a 2.41 GCD, we would get that Brutal Shell first, but that doesn't matter, because we hit a Gnashing. We hit a Burst Strike. We hit a Burst Strike and a Bloodfest. We hit a Double Down.
Ooh.
We hit
Ooh.
a Sonic Break.
Ooh.
We hit a Savage Claw. We hit a Wicked Talon.
This burst window is gonna be crazy.
And then we did a Brutal Shell, but we should not have. Do you know why? Because what we should have done there was a Burst Strike. Every single GCD in that window can be a Burst Strike.
That's crazy.
In my mind, I believe I was attempting to adhere to only using X amount of GCDs before breaking combo, forgetting that I
Right,
could
the
just do the
30
burst.
seconds. Yeah. Yeah.
Later on, I do have a rotation where I show the Bloodfest No Mercy window. In fact, why don't we take a look at that now? I think we've seen what we need to as far as this rotation goes. It's pretty much going to loop, and the only mistake I would say that I made critically wrong there was that I used Burst Strikes into Bloodfest instead of just using Double Down Bloodfest. And both can be fine, but you risk pushing things out of buffs or weakening emboldened buffs so that your Double Down comes down when you have less emboldened stacks than what you
Right.
would ideally like.
Because it's looking like Red
So
Mage is
before
gonna
you
be meta.
Watch out for that as you're getting used to it. I'm sure we're all going to go through these growing pains. Just work with it, and it'll be fine. Let's walk you through the Bloodfest No Mercy window. We're going to begin with Keen Edge, Brutal Shell, into No Mercy. Here, we enter Gnashing Fang, Blasting Zone, Jugular
Blasting
Rip,
Zone, Jugular Rip,
Double Down, Bloodfest, Battle Shock,
Bloodfest, Battle Shock,
Sonic Break, Rough
Sonic Break.
Divide, Savage Claw, Abdomen Tear. Things
I'm gonna have
start
to
getting a little
practice
bit more
this.
simple.
I'm gonna
How
have to
about we
practice
finish
this a
our-
lot.
our Gnashing combo. So we go Burst Strike, Hyper Velocity, Burst Strike, Hyper Velocity, Burst Strike, and again.
Oh my
Hyper Velocity,
god.
and then we smash that solid barrel right at the end. And that's going to be your 3-minute
That's
window.
so
Let's head on
insane.
over to the Charlian Scholasticate Endwalker Elementary, and we'll break down the rotation and what you need to know. If you count the GCDs you should be using there, you're going to have Gnashing, Double Down,
Double
and
Down,
Sonic are
Sonic.
3.
Yes.
Savage Claw and Wicked Talon brings you to 5. Bloodfest is going to give you a Burst Strike, Burst Strike, Burst Strike. Now you're sitting
Right.
comfortably at 8, and finish it off with a solid barrel.
barrel. Yeah.
It's going to feel like a lot of weaving, and that's because it is.
Mm.
Just do your best to get used to it, and
Yeah,
eventually it will become muscle memory.
That's
Now, I
something
know
I'm
a lot of
gonna
you
have
wanna
to just
start doing theory
practice.
crafting and spreadsheeting, and you can, by all means, go for it. I would just like to remind you once again that everything is tentative at the moment and in development, and totally subject to massive changes. It's very possible that the rotation I went through just now isn't even viable upon release. However, just in case, I do have a couple of backups. But just forget about that. Try your best and have fun. Alright, let's get into the discussion session. A huge question I was asked repeatedly ever since we found out that Endwalker was going to be a thing was, Rin, what changes do you expect for Gunbreaker? What would you like to see? What do you think Gunbreaker needs? And honestly, I only wanted two things. When Gunbreaker was first released at the beginning of Shadowbringers, I felt it was as close to perfect as it could be. And the only improvements I could have thought of making was to give them a 2-cartridge
my bad.
spender, an additional ammo, or a defensive. So overall, I'm pretty satisfied. Now, if you were to ask if there's
My
anything I saw
bad.
that I wasn't expecting, I would say I didn't really expect to get a continuation off of Burst Strike, and I'm going to talk about why. Now, a lot of players find themselves in a delicate situation. where they
Everybody
need to
saw
move the
me and
boss,
Mine's
but they're
picture.
also in their
No.
matching thing window. Now, their options are, do I delay my window, or do I ask the other tank to take the boss? Should I not be main tanking right now? This is very difficult. I don't know how I can do this without clipping my GCD. Up until now,
Some
the answers
paper
have been
leaks.
to either utilize sprint so you can slingshot your character and move the boss a little further than you'd anticipate so that you could get your
Well,
Gnashing Fang
okay.
continuation
So
going while
one
you're
of the things
moving.
I want to talk about, especially about this with the new Gnashing Fang changes, it's still going to be a pain in it. He's right. Moving the boss during gnashing is still going to be a major pain in the ass. But for me, because I play on controller, it'll be a little bit easier to me for me because so like I'll show you guys in game. Where's my game? I can't. Alright, so let me show you guys in game real quick. Okay, so let me switch over my gunbreaker. All right, so you see right here, this is where my gnashing button is. Right here. This is on my. So I hold R2 and hit down on the D-pad. So for me, like hitting that and moving the boss is going to be slightly easier. Um, that'll be slightly easier for me actually. Because I can move the boss and just like hit it. Was going to be because like okay, so essentially what happens for me, and I was looking at this the other day because I'm just like okay, how is my I'm trying to figure out like how is my hotbar going to look. I was trying to figure out how my hotbar is going to look with these two buttons gone. So essentially, what happens for me is with these two buttons gone, like I think what I'm going to do, this is essentially going to stay the same. All of this will probably stay the same. I think what I'm going to do is where this. I think this is what is that? Eye gouge? Which one is that? I don't fucking know. That's the eye gouge. Oh no, not eye gouge. That is wicked talent. Where wicked talent is, I think I'm gonna put double down there. And I'm still trying to figure out what I'm gonna put right here. I'm not entirely sure, but I know this is where double down is going to be. 100%. This is where double down is going to be. I could theoretically, cause burst strike is over here. Oh, that's why I'm text that. So this is Burst Strike. I could theoretically, and all honesty, I think that's probably what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna move Burst Strike over, cause see Burst Strike is right here. So it's just like, and what I'm going to do is since Burst Strike is now with the continuation, what I don't want to do is have to do this and then come over here and try to press that. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move Burst Strike over here, and it'll just be like boom, hit that continuation, boom, hit that continuation. It'll still be like the same flow, right? It'll still end up being like kind of like the same flow. So I think that's how I'm going to do my hot bars. At least as it stands now. This is how I'm going to do them. Um, I do agree though. Like I wonder. So like 2.40, Rand said he played that with a 2.46, which God, that's a dog shit fucking GCD. Goddamn. At 2.46, that's awful. 2.41 or 2.40 would be the optimal GCD timings to play it. I don't think I'll have as big of an issue as some people moving the boss during gnashing anymore. But again, it's something I'm gonna have to like play around with. Let me see. So like, if gnashing was just one button, okay, let's say, boom. Yeah, I think it'll be easier. I think for at least me and how I play, I think it may be easier. It may be easier. We'll see. We'll see. Um, but like I said, it being just one button is something I've wanted since Gnashing Fang was first introduced. Like it should have been just one button, if you ask me. I don't understand why it wasn't. But hey, to each their own. Let me do this. Let me pull my. Where's my? There it is. Boom, boom. Oops, that's the wrong one. I'm really off today. I am really off today.
An easier option was to save an extra cartridge and use Burst Strike during your Gnashing Fang window to move the boss because it does not interrupt your gnashing sequence. That's no longer a thing. Now that we have continuation attached to any of our single ammo, single target cartridge spenders,
Yeah,
we're
you're
kind
always
of out of options in that department.
We're
We may
always
have to find
weaving.
ourselves utilizing Sonic Break and Double Down in our burst windows to move the boss. This is all assuming that we receive fights in Endwalker in which boss positioning is going to matter. I know in the last tier, we saw a lot of the boss self-centering themselves and moving
Yeah.
themselves, and
I
tanks
think
didn't
that's
really
gonna
have
be
a
the
lot of
future. I think that's
responsibility in that department.
the
I'd like
future
to
of
see that
fights.
change. It was a part of the complexity of tanking where a lot of players had responsibilities as DPS or as healers, and tanks kind of didn't have to handle a lot of things. If I could just name a few examples off the top of my head, I would say tanks don't have a large responsibility in basic relativity of E12. You could
Correct,
go even
we
further
don't.
back and to say
We
that they
don't.
don't have too much responsibility when it comes to Icelit Dragon Song in E8.
Yeah,
You
we
could
don't do
also
shit.
say,
We
in
don't
terms
do
of
shit.
ultimates,
He's right.
they didn't really have a whole lot of adjustment that they needed to do during Inception on T or Suppression in Uwu. In fact, I would say
Yep.
they had the easiest role in that situation.
Correct.
They're always
Which
going
is
to
why
survive due to their
which is why I always say Uwu is dog shit, and I hate that fight because it is boring on tank. We do nothing. Like, as a tank, the only time the first 3 phases, yeah, you're kind of moving the boss a little bit. It's real fun. But once you get the Ultima, like, we don't do shit in that fight. In all honesty, even then, like, outside of boss positioning, we don't really do anything in the first 3 phases either. We just eat busters. Like, that's literally it. Like, there's nothing interesting about what tanks do. I think the most interesting part of being a tank is eating the tank orbs and annihilation. That's it. That's the most fun we have in the fight. Like, they don't really put a lot of stress and responsibilities on tanks anymore, and that's been kind of like one of my biggest gripes since Heaven's War. Heaven's War, tanks had a lot of responsibilities. We had a lot of responsibilities back then. But it's like they've kind of gotten away from that. They want tanks to just like, you tank the boss. Your job is mitigation. That's it. And it's just like they've made boss positioning like brain dead easy. Like, every boss pretty much centers themselves now. And I hate to say it, I think that's gonna be the future of raid tiers. I think bosses are just gonna automatically center themselves. That just takes out a level of skill that is not needed in Party Finder. They're getting away more and more from designing content to be difficult to just design the content to be clearable in PF. That's what they want. They just want everyone to be able to clear, which is the right move in some ways, because I don't want people to be, I don't want people to be struggling in PF to clear. I do want to see people clear content. That's just it. But from a hardcore raider perspective, you're taking some of my enjoyment away, because I don't have to really, boss positioning was like a big thing that I enjoy doing. And and it's one of the things that raiding with Soviet made me a better raider, for some fact that when you raid with someone like him at that high level melee DPS, he wants the boss position quickly and correctly. So, like, if I was doing a dog shit job of positioning the boss, you best believe we'd be in Discord. Soviet would tell me, Crow, dog shit, position the boss better. Cool, got you on the next pull. And playing with someone like him that forces you, it makes you think more about your melee. And the biggest thing is in Prague is biggest shut up, honey. And the biggest thing about Prague that I really want to focus on is listening. I'm not gonna like greatly inconvenience the tanks, but like if my melees are like, hey, Crow, can you and Rhythm move the boss this way? Me and Rhythm will discuss it. We'll look at it. Yeah, we can do that. Sure. And then we'll, because we want to make the job as easy on our melees as possible. So if we can get the boss positioned a little bit quicker, Rhythm, okay, Mr. Monday, be quiet. Anyways, don't make me look. I'm trying to be professional. Please don't make me roast old heads right now. Uh, Mr. Thursday, okay, Mr. Raided an entire 3 days that I didn't raid. Shut up. Anyways, honestly, I just want them to make the I want them to make tanking fun. I want there to be more for tanks to think about. Boss positioning, mitigation, just your own personal damage. I want there to be more for tanks to think about than just, oh, I don't even have to worry about boss positioning. The boss is gonna jump back to the center. And that was one thing I noticed. I realized in Prague sooner than Nahira. Nahira would always try to like position the ball center, and I'm just like, in 11, I'm just like, he's just gonna jump back center. I'm just gonna leave him here and face his ass to where the melees can hit it, cause he's gonna jump center anyway. I literally don't have to move him. Hopefully they hopefully they find some balance between positioning the boss and the boss jumping center. Hopefully they find some balance with it and it makes it fun again. But don't get me wrong, tanking's fun. I just want more out of my job description.
tank privilege, and they don't have a whole lot of options that they have to do for execution. So being able to position the boss and properly plan mitigation are things that make tanking fun and engaging. And one thing that I will say, after looking over all of the tanks, is that it looks like we're going to have a lot of party mitigation and healing that we're going to have to put out on the party. I could not
Right.
foresee Square Enix giving us this much power in our kit defensively and not giving us situations in which we have to use it. I do feel this will be a huge quality of life change for players playing in dungeons and maybe up to the extent of extreme trials, where you could kind of freelance your rotation and your cooldowns and get through it. However, I do also feel these are going to be powerful tools for progression. And since I do early progression, that is what my mind is instantly drawn to. Now let's take
Right.
Dark Knight for an example. Dark Knight has Oblation. That is their new defensive that reduces the damage taken for a party member or yourself by 10%. They get 2 stacks of this and can place it on multiple players. This means that if you have a Dark Knight in your party, they could theoretically cover Oblation on 2 of your DPS and the Blackest Knight on another DPS for a grand total of 3 squishy players getting party mitigation. Now, if you couple that with the Gunbreaker's Heart of Corundum, that's huge mitigation for every single DPS covered now. And if a DPS has self-mitigation, you can throw that on a healer. Gunbreaker also gets a double Aurora. Now they have 2 regens, which I touched on earlier, and it allows you to help recovery moments. Now, in an ideal scenario, you may find yourself not needing to use Auroras because the party may not be taking a whole lot of damage. However, I have an inkling that we may be taking a lot more damage than we're used
looks
to
fun.
going into this expansion with the sheer amount of power I see
Ninja,
in our
no!
healing and defensive kits. I would not be surprised if there were an abundance of opportunities to utilize our kit in an efficient way to help our healers. Because at the end of the day, our defensive kit is not there for us, it is there for the healers. It is our job to do our best to make their job easier. And it is my goal to be a tank that helps assist the team to reach their maximum potential. And I hope that I can help you get there too.
Correct.
Speaking of maximum potential, the personals on Paladin and on Warrior are amazing. We have just about everything that you could throw into a defensive kit. Paladin gets double mitigation with a regen, and Warriors now no longer care about the gauge they have when they give somebody a nascent flash. It is a strict flat potency heal across the duration, in addition to mitigation, in addition to a shield. They got it all. Shake It Off now applies a heal when the effect expires. Divine Veil now heals upon expiration as well. And Paladins have healing in their kit via Sheltron and Holy Spirit now that does not need to break their combo. I feel the era of Paladin being an off-tank strictly is over, and I would not be surprised if Paladin becomes the premier tank to hold aggro on the boss. Now granted, I didn't get to do a whole lot of endgame testing, as the only opportunities we really had available were the A ranks in the open world, as well as a level 81 dungeon. Now I had the opportunity to run the dungeon with some lovely people who were all proficient in their job, and we struggled a little bit. I was very impressed with the engagement that they offered in the dungeon, as it was the very first dungeon we're going to be unlocking in Endwalker. And if that is a sign of things to come, then I believe we are going to have an extremely fun and engaging experience.
Ah, he missed the
as we
dot.
head into the
No!
holiday season. So where does this leave me going into Endwalker? Well, I'm going to level up all 4 tanks 100% for sure. However, do I feel that one tank is going to be the progression tank over the others? Yeah, I kind of feel like this time around, you're going to see a lot of teams lock Paladin because of its expansive kit that it's receiving. Do I think any tank is going to hinder Prog? No. Not at all. I personally believe that all 4 are going to be extremely fun, and they are all kitted in a way that allow them to help the team facilitate completion, and it will literally come down to whatever you enjoy playing the most. And that is always the number one thing. The Final Fantasy XIV dev team has done a spectacular job at having every job feel comfortable and welcomed in a raid environment, and with what I got to play at the Endwalker Media Tour, that could not ring more true than it does right now. And I'm personally excited to get to play some of the other jobs on my alts. For one, I know I'm going to be playing Reaper. That job was super fun, but that's another video for another time. I hope you've enjoyed my discussion on Gunbreaker, and if you have any questions at all, please leave a comment below, and I'd be happy to get to them. And don't forget to check out the other videos, as I did get to cover a number of jobs at the media tour.
I wonder when Ren is going to upload his Paladin video. Looks like he's spacing them out. Maybe the Paladin video is not ready yet. Maybe it's not. But I'll look at his Paladin video as soon as he puts it up. But like that's all. It's just looking like all the tanks are gonna be pretty similar. Like Ren said, they're all gonna be like really close to each other. They're all gonna be really strong. It's just your personal preference. Like you know, he loves Gunbreaker, so he's going to go Gunbreaker. We know this. But if Gunbreaker was bad, I'm pretty sure if Gunbreaker was like off of a prog, Ren would probably be like, you know what, I'm just gonna play something else. And I'm the same way. Like if Dark Knight is just dog in prog, which I don't think it will. I think Dark Knight's gonna be really good. I think it's gonna be really good in prog. I think it's gonna be pretty good. It's gonna be pretty good to really good in speed. We'll see. Like I said, I'm gonna be leveling Dark Knight Gunbreaker. Ren's gonna be leveling Paladin and Warrior. Um, I want to just touch on the Dragoon changes a little bit because this class is on absolute steroids right now. Okay. All right. So this is huge. Riding thrust no longer needing both positionals from like all of this to proc is massive. You still want to hit the positionals to get the potencies from them, but you're no longer like screwed in PF where a tank will just randomly turn the boss and you miss the positional, and so then you don't get the riding. You get the riding, and then you get the first mind's focus, the two scales, and then you get Wormwind thrust, which is really strong. It only required the last one to be used in the combo. I thought it was both, but okay. Still, fact still remains. You missed the positional because the boss turns, which happens a lot in, let's say, nail phase. Nail is constantly turning. Same thing with Twin, where the bosses are just constantly turning, and there's not new true north charges in the world to avoid that. Um, we spin nail here. Yeah, it's true. We do. She spins like a fucking Beyblade over here in this data center. It is what it is. But I just like Dragoon. I like Dragoon. I like how it's looking. I like how like this is huge. Like I'm glad Ren basically put it out of my head that I'm going to use a Shadowbringer every 60 seconds, and it's just no, just pull them for 2 minute buffs. You get Litany, Battle Voice. Let's just say you get Litany, Battle Voice, Chain Strat, Divination, fucking let's say you have a red mage, then you've got Embolden. Your 2 minutes are just gonna be on crack, dude. Your 2 minute bursts are just gonna be on crack. Like it's insane. Um, red mage is stupid busted right now. Where is Embolden? Utility. Here we go. Exclamation Embolden. 120 seconds. 10% for both physical and magic. It just affects all damage. I love that. Magic barrier is gonna be really good for prog. Just a really good like mid skill. I'm gonna be honest. I think that's what Raynor's talking about. He might go red mage for prog. Oh, 100%. Red mage will 100% be better than summoner for prog. 100%. I think they'll both be viable, but I think red mage just overall for prog will probably be better. It's like embolden affecting both physical and magical damage. Physical and magical damage is going to be massive. It's going to be massive. You get this every 2 minutes, and I think as opposed to devotion, don't get me wrong, Embolden has that drop off, but Embolden is just strong. Embolden is just a stronger buff than um devotion. I'm looking for like the more I look at this, like I watched Ren's Gunbreaker video this morning when I woke up, and it's just like watching that and watching it again, watching all these videos. I'm so hyped for this expansion. It's like I've gone through a lot over the past year, and I've been contemplating quitting raiding. But just like having the group that I have now, where like I said, they feel like a family, and just enjoying raiding with them. Having people like Sayori, who's the homie, who cheers me on when she's around, and who I enjoy watching Sayori stream. Which, by the way, let me just say, I saw the tweet. Congratulations on the ooh. I think I liked it. Congratulations on the ooh clear. Congrats. Congrats on the ooh. You're what, a double legend now? Ukop's the last one? Wait, is Ukop the last one you need? Yo, say less. See, but you didn't invite me for the Ukop, so I'm kind of mad at you. But you know what? You know what? You don't ever invite me. You don't ever DM me be like, Crow, you want to come help an Ukop? Like, you want to? No, no. She just goes in the Ukop without me. Don't ever invite me. She don't care. Ah, Crow, who cares? I hate him. Like literally, but I'm like Sayori went from let's just all that's right. We could just all PF together. Let's just do that. That would be a lot of fun. I would get some fucking Gunbreaker practice that I just desperately need. It's like Rhythm told me, just play Gunbreaker, dude. Like just play it. I do need to play it more. But no, like I'm looking forward to Prague. Just like I know Reina is like he's like whatever. He's gonna play what's best. He's gonna play what's best. He's gonna play what's most comfortable on. I don't know about Summoner right now. We will see. Like just look, just goddamn, there's just a lot here. There's just a lot here. Um, yeah. See, this is Searing Light is basically devotion. Orders Carbuncle to execute Searing Light, increases damage dealt by self and nearby party members by 3%. My bad, for 30 seconds. Maybe maybe it's 30 seconds. That's damn. Actually, hold on. That's damn. 30 seconds. That's a lot of time. I'd have to math it out. Which one is better, Embolden or Searing Light? We'd have to math it out. Um, but you can only use this when it's a carbuncle. It's like you can't use it in Bahamut. You can't use it. See, and this is what I was hoping they would have changed. I would have hoping they would have made this based off of the summoner instead of the pet. That would have made this such a, this would have been a better skill if they just made it based off the summoner and not the pet. But whatever. Um, Summoner's gonna be really good. I know everybody's excited for Summoner. I'm excited to see it. So for like the first month that the game is out, I'm turning this shit off when we go into the raids here. The first month, I'm gonna have all effects on. So get ready to watch my stream look like a goddamn Christmas tree. Okay. Get ready to watch my stream look like a damn Christmas tree. Cause it will definitely look like one. Um, it will definitely look like a Christmas tree. I can tell you that right now. All right. I can show you some of my old videos before I turned off effects. You don't see the boss, all right? The boss is just a blob of visual particles. But yeah, like in general, I think all the tanks are gonna be strong. I think a lot of the classes are gonna. I know everybody's worried about Samurai right now. I know Samurai. Everybody's a little bit worried because of some weeb shit that I don't understand. All right, whenever Katsu starts talking, I hear him say, I'm just like, okay, weeb, whatever, don't care, Katsu, get a girlfriend, weeb. Um, but apparently something happened that has Samurai mains a little bit worried. We'll see. I don't think Samurai's gonna be in a bad spot. Um, I don't think Sam's gonna be in a bad spot. I think it might be in a really good spot. We shall see. I don't think any Samurai. It looks like, from what my understanding, Samurai just becomes a 2 minute class, which is okay because it just means every 2 minutes, like the other 2 minute classes, you just shit damage. If they're worried, they're not Sam mains. Okay, so Zab is not a Sam main. Say less, because he was sitting up there complaining all last night, and it was just like, okay. I told him, I said, bro, just ping Katsu, bro. Just ping Katsu. He will tell you what's going on with the class. I promise. Just ping him. Um all in all, I think the classes are going to be good. I think every class is going to be good. Every class is going to be viable. Um, I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually looking forward to seeing a lot of things that are going to change. Um, I don't know. I'm excited. I'm honestly excited. And all I can hope for is that essentially what I want to happen is I want Dark Knight. I hope Dark Knight's potencies stay kind of where they are right now, because where they are right now is fine. Dark Knight is going to be good. I think all the classes, like memes aside, we'll see once it releases. But right now, it's looking like everybody's just like everybody's good. All the classes just seem good. Reaper seems really good. Samurai is really good. Ninja is on crack. I need to talk to Bay because she's the monk main. She'll be able to like really tell me what's going on with monk. Soviet is really hyped for Dragoon. Alice is really excited for Bard Dancer. Machinist didn't change. It got another reassembled and it got a new AOE. So machine, like I said, at the end of the day, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And I think that was the stance they took with Dark Knight Warrior. I think that's the stance they took with Dark Knight. It's not broke. It's nothing to fix. I do think that Blood Weapon needs to be changed. Okay, and that is the most I'll say on that. Blood Weapon needs to be changed. But aside from that, all the tanks are good, bro. All the tanks are good. All the tanks are viable. I think all of the classes are viable. And I'm looking forward to playing. I really am. Rand and them got to play early, got to play the media tour build. I envy them because that's definitely something I want to do. Hopefully someday I'll be big enough to go to the media tour. Oh my god. So I'm excited. I'm excited. I want to play I want to play my classes. Um I want to enjoy um I want to enjoy my class, Um and I want to have a good time. And I will. Um we'll see. We'll see. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to playing all the classes. I'm looking forward to um Dragoon's probably gonna be the only DPS I play. I might still mess around on Machinist. But definitely actually I hate to do that. I hate to clean up my inventory. I hate to clean up my inventory because I'm not going to have like all these. I'm not gonna touch a healer anymore. We shall see what happens. But I'm excited. I hope everybody's excited for Endwalker because I know I am. I know I'm excited to play this damn expansion. I know I'm excited to play this fucking expansion. I'm excited to see how good Dark Knight's going to be when it's all said and done. Um, I don't know. It's my main class. I want it to be good, and we shall see. Frey is gonna be so cracked in the expansion, dude. Frey is going to be so cracked in the X-Pack. It's going to be great. But yeah, looking forward to seeing how things turn out and just where we're going to be once the expansion drops. I think Dark Knight, like I said, this class is going to be fine. Don't misunderstand. Dark Knight is going to be A-okay. I promise. Don't worry. Alright? Besides, like, Besides, like Dark Knight, we got some of the coolest weapons, bro. Where is it? Where's my Dark Knight sword? Actually, where is it? Oh, there it is. We got some of the coolest weapons, bro. The OG. I miss this sword. At this source is 2018. This is my baby. This is my baby. I miss it. I miss you. Actually, I might put the sword back on. I miss it. I can wait for all the wild refugees to realize our raid tiers will always drop the same time as wild raid tiers. True, we'll see. I hope a lot of them do stay, but I need some of the bad takes to go away. It's like a lot of people like Max making a lot of bad takes, like removing positionals. That's a bad take, and I spoke on this when it happened, and I'm just gonna say it now. Somebody needs to tell Frosty if he wants to talk about melee changes, get actual melees on his stream. He needs to get a Soviet hammer, a Bebe, people who actually play melee. And I'm gonna say this again. I love Xeno, love his content, love who he is. He is not the authority on everything in this game, and the fact that he said, melee positionals don't make melee engaging. That's your opinion, and I'm gonna say it. He's wrong. As a person who talks to a lot of melees and have like people who have a deep understanding of melee jobs, a lot of people say melee wouldn't be as fun without positionals. It's like they add that extra flair. I know Xeno's like, what? You move to the right and you hit the button. Oh, that's not. At the end of the day, that's a level of complexity that if you remove from the jobs, they're not nearly as fun. This game literally just becomes WoW, where you just hit the button. All right, it just becomes WoW, where you're just hitting the button. You're not, and your damage is just there. It adds a level of complexity. It adds a level of skill. Here's the thing: Xeno doesn't main melees. I need Xeno to stop speaking on things that I'm just going to say it, and I can get roasted for it someday or whatever. It is what it is. I need Zeno to stop speaking on things he's not qualified to speak on. And I'm sorry, melees are not something he's qualified to speak on. Soviet is someone who's qualified to speak on melee. Some of the top melees in the world. Soviet, Katsu, fucking Nan. Those are people who play melee every day. This is what they do. That's like them speaking on tank. If Katsu said something about tank, I'd call him an idiot. We've had those conversations where Katsu said something about a tank, and I'm like, you're fucking stupid. That's dumb. It is what it is. He's not qualified to speak on a tank any more than I'm qualified to speak on a melee. Zeno can't sometimes play samurai and think he's an expert on melees. He's not. I'm sorry. I level road to level 30 and thought positional suck. That's the type. And you know what? There's a lot of people in his chat that are like, yeah, Zeno's right. Positional shouldn't exist. And then you go look at their parses and they're gray everywhere. They're just fucking gray. They're gray or they don't do any type of in-game content. And it's like your opinion is actual dog shit. You know. Like I said, this isn't a shit talk Xeno section. I just want people to have their own minds. That's all I ask for from the 14 community. Have your own minds. Have your own opinions. We all don't have to agree. I don't agree with a lot of the things Xeno says, but then there's some things he says I don't like. You know what? That's right. He's right. That's smart. I have my gripes about Dark Mind being just magical damage. I have my gripes about this stupid skill blood weapon. I have my gripes about this. And you know what? That's fine. And there are a lot of things, like I said, there's a lot of things Zeno says I agree with. And like I said, I don't think he's dumb. I don't think he's a bad player. Although there are a lot of people that I've seen who would disagree on that. It is what it is. But I think Zeno's a good player. I think he's a smart player. I think he's been doing this for a long time, and he has a full understanding of this game. I just don't think his word is the Bible. And a lot of people in his chat view his word as the Bible. He is the end all be all for tanks. He's not. He's not. Like the one thing, the one instance I'll say is the one thing I will not agree with Zito on is I look at Ukab, and back when we didn't outgear Ukab and we just pushed every phase like 30 seconds faster than it was. I liked what we did in Rupega where we would invuln the second buster of Twin, and we would then just cool down Nail's dive into her claws at the start of Bahamut. That's at the start of Bahamut. At the start of Nail phase. We would cool down those, we would invuln the second buster. And the reason we did that was because we wanted to invuln the flare breath into flatten into flare breath with hollow. We wanted to invuln what is that? Fell Ruin? Fell Ruin is Quick March, Black Fire Fell Ruin. Yeah. We wanted to invuln the Fell Ruin busters because Legacy and Cedarlune were like, that's a better usage of it there because we save GCDs. The one thing I will say is my biggest gripe with Xeno and my biggest disagreement with him is that he doesn't, when he's looking at a mitigation chart, he's looking at it for himself. And what I think a mistake that a lot of tanks make, yeah, the one mistake I think a lot of tanks make, here's what, and people might not agree with me. This clip might get back, Xeno might roast me on stream. I really, frankly, don't care. Your mitigation is not for you. I know all these buttons, this, none of this is for me. None of that is for me. All of that is for those people with the green icons, right? Because my job is to hit these buttons, to make their job easier. The easier their jobs are, the more damage they do and the less stressed they become. As a tank, this needs to be understood amongst all tanks. And I will say a lot about Legacy, but the one thing I will say he was correct on was that your mitigation as a tank is not for you. It is for your healers. Like that is the one thing I took away from like running with him and Cedarlune. Mitigation is not for me. It is for them. My mitigation directly affects them. How I use my skills directly affects their damage. It affects the way they play. And it all ties into, like I said, you have good tanks, your healers are going to shine. You have bad tanks, your healers are going to suffer. Same thing with melees. Good tanks will make a good tank will make a melee's job extremely easy, and a bad tank will make a melee's job extremely hard. And that goes for mitigation. And Zeno might not agree with what I'm saying, but just looking at how he does mid and how he does his cooldowns, he's only thinking of himself. I don't think he thinks of the healers. Right. I don't think he thinks of the healers. He's like, and the thing is, in Prague, like, yeah, there's a lot of what he says where it's like, okay, cool, maybe he is thinking of the healers here. But when you look at like a mitigation spreadsheet for both tanks over the entirety of a fight, you want to going to UCOB PF right now and only use thrill for every tank buster. Wish me luck. Rithen, I wish you the best of luck in that. But no, like your mitigation is for your healers. It's just like every like I said, the better your group is at using Mitt, the easier the time your healers are gonna have. And that was just one of the things that Legacy and Cedarlune asked. Can we invuln that? They're just like the Bahamut's claws. Like we can pre-prep that to where Biscuit will be fine. And I think what Biscuit did was he used wings on the initial drop, and then she becomes targetable. He drops wings and starts DPSing. So he has his wings ticks, and it's just like the healers just prep him with an extra Adlo or something, and like it was like an extra Adlo and a what do you call it? Um, he like already had an Adlo pre-prepped. Um, this is back when spread low was a thing, the crit spread lows. So it's just like okay, throw an X-Cog on him, he'll be fine. Biscuit would do like the wings into a Sheltron, and he was okay. Because I'm going to vote the boss once all that is over with, and then the boss is mine. So, like, in Legacy, which is always like healing nails drop into the claws is not hard. It's like you don't even have to heal that if you prep it, because one, there's no boss to hit. So you have all the prep time in the world. And Legacy was just like, it literally cost, he was like, it literally cost me nothing to prep that. Whereas you look at Fel Ruin, okay? You look at Fel Ruin, the party takes raid wide damage into the dives, so then everybody's scrambling to Bahamut. The healers have to heal up before the Mega Flare, right? And then the Mega Flare goes off. Everybody drops low again, including the tanks. And then there's a Flare Breath into a Flatten into a Flare Breath. When you can literally just hollow and not have to think about that main tank. Because here's the thing, you can do a Medica 2, and the group's gonna heal themselves. The regen ticks are like what Medica 2 and a phase whatever from Scholar. It's like just in general regens plus whatever the fairy regen is. The group's gonna be fine because after that mega flare, the group is no longer taking damage. The only person taking damage is the tank, and if the tank can just invuln and you just don't have to worry about them. You're then not scrambling to cast an ad low on the tank. Using all these skills to try to get the tank in a livable into a livable HP pool. When it's just invuln it, and it's done. You know, that those are just type of things that people don't think about. And I honestly think our way of handling Fel Ruin was better than any way Xeno's ever handled Fel Ruin. Just gonna be honest. Again, your mitigation is not for you, it is for your healers. I wish a lot more tanks would realize that, and and things would be a lot better. Like I said, bro, I'll say this every day. I suck at this game, right? I am no expert player. I am no, I'm no expert. I'm average. I'm an average tank who just enjoys hardcore progression. That is what I enjoy. I enjoy hardcore progression. I enjoy raiding with my team. I enjoy pushing to be better every tier. That is something I strive to do. I strive to be better. It's why I play this game. It's why I sit with my DPS now. And that's another thing. Having DPS to actually sit down with and we just go over like buff alignment and just like, everybody's talking each other through like, okay, cool. Save this for this. Do this for this. It's just like having that connection with my DPS is great. You know, I find that to be better than going into a PF, playing selfishly, and getting a high rank. As a tank, you go into PF, everybody else is dog shit around you. Oh man, I got rank one. Oh, how'd you get rank one? Oh, you literally killed the boss at Enrage. And that's just one of the things. It is what it is. People are gonna play the game how they want to play. I'm just telling you my way of playing the game and what I have learned over the years raiding with some really high level players. Soviets, Cedarloon, Legacy, Nahira, you know, beefs aside, I learned a lot playing with those players. Um, you know what? I don't regret it because I learned a lot. And when you learn a lot, you become a better player. And at the end of the day, that's all I want for people. I want the bad takes to stop. Like I need limit max to actually shut up and just play the game, enjoy it. We hear your opinions, but you don't understand how this game works. You've been playing it for all of 2-3 months now. Calm down, okay? Just play the game and you will understand why things work the way they work. It's that simple. Um, on that note, I have been talking for quite some time. Um, and I think all in all, I'm looking forward to playing with my static, playing with my friends. Just over all in all, having a blast. End Walker. So 30, we're what, 30, let me check my Twitter. My Twitter will tell me because I follow a Twitter account that just counts down the days. And did I like my daily tweet for it? Let's see. We are, as of today, I did not like the daily tweet. We are 36 days away from Endwalker, my friends. 36 days. So, enjoy the next 36 days of speculation. In 36 days, we will all be able to play it. All our questions will be answered, or more questions will pop up, and we'll slowly start to answer them leading into the raid tier. For those of you who don't know, my group will be doing hardcore progression week 1. I am looking forward to spending 18 hours a day with these chimps, my chimps. Um, Spending 18 hours a day fighting bosses with them is going to be fun. It's going to be a blast. This is one of the strong. Like I know I say that every tier, but I just honestly feel like every tier we get stronger. Um, this is one of the more enjoyable groups I've raided with by far. That the Eve's Promise group was good though. That Promise group was really good, really good. At some point, I am going to do another video. Once we lock down an eighth healer, I said eighth healer. Once we lock down an eighth, because unfortunately we will, as it seems right now, we will be losing our Soma-chan, unfortunately. We'll see how things go, but I'm going to make another video where I talk about the static, strengths, weaknesses, and just talk about my feelings going into um the raids here. I'm probably going to do that after Endwalker drops. I'm going to let us all get adjusted on our new classes or the way our classes newly play. I will be talking about a lot of that. I'm going to be discussing the group. But like I said, this is one of the better groups I feel that I've had. And if you guys know any healers who want to hardcore progress that maybe want to trial for us, I would say let them know now because we're not going to be doing trials much longer. I will be making a decision on what we're going to be doing very soon. Because I would like to start some bit of prep instead of doing trials. So we'll be doing that soon. We'll be picking somebody. So I think like maybe like another 2 weeks of trials. And we'll see what happens from that point on. Oh, Curly means X. If you hire me as HR, what is my paycheck gonna look like? Non-existent. Because here's the thing: the only way you get a paycheck is if you make Lana cry, and I need to see tears. Okay, I need you to expose every secret Lana has known to man. You want a paycheck? I need to see Lana cry. So make Lana cry right now, and you know what? Okay, well I need you to make Lana cry in front of me right now. All right, and I'll buy you like 4 skins. Uh, I'll buy you whatever skins you want in League of Legends. Say less. Say less. You'll get 4 skins. Make him cry right now. You'll get 4 skins. All right, let's go. What you want? What you want, honey? Make him cry right now. Oh, let me. Y'all, wow. I'm finna get ready to end stream because I'm getting hungry and I need to go eat. But no, I just wanted to talk about the tanks, and I'm glad I got to speak on them. I'm glad I got to talk about them. It was indeed a good discussion. I feel like it was good seeing Ren's take on the tanks. It was good. It was good seeing his take. It was good hearing what he had to say, and it's good to kind of see and feel that all the tanks are going to be viable. They're all going to be in a good spot because that's all I can hope for at the end of the day. That's literally all I can hope for. So with that being said, I want to wish everybody a good day. If you are in my Discord, okay, yeah, it's time for me to go. If you are in my Discord, then please go wish Alice, my physical range, a happy birthday. If you are in my raid Discord, please tag her. She is just type in at Alice, and she'll be like Bard still in the coffin, something something. Um, Go wish her a happy birthday. It's her birthday today. She is the like second longest member of Murder as of right now. With Soma leaving, Alice now has tenure. Funny how that happens. She is one of my best friends. I love her to death, and I want to wish her a happy birthday. Also, if you are not in my stream Discord, is if you check the panels down below, please join that because I will be trying to talk in there a lot more. I will be using that Discord a little bit more. I want to grow that community. I wonder what you're gonna say about me on my birthday, honey. We'll see. I don't even know when your birthday is, baby. We'll find out. But yeah, so like, please, yeah, you in the raid Discord, but I have a Discord for my stream that I want to start growing. Because it's funny, like a lot of people just say, just use your raid Discord. I'm gonna be honest, I don't want to mix the two communities. That Discord literally just used to be for the static, but it grew into a community, and it's just wild. It's just wild how that turned out. It is, and I don't want that degenness to transfer over to my stream Discord. Everyone, but yeah, so please, if you're not already in there, go join. It's got a lot of channels. It's been around for a while, but I actually do want to start growing it. I do hope to start streaming a lot more, not just 14. I want to stream other games. But I do understand how streaming works and a lot of things. But you know, I hope to grow my community. I hope to grow my channel. We'll see how things go. Um, but yeah, like I said, I'm no authority on 14. Let me just preference that I am no authority on this game. I've been playing this game for almost 10 years and I still suck dick at it. So, you know, I have my opinions. Other people have theirs. People will either agree or disagree. It is what it is. But I just want everybody to enjoy this game that I do love, this game that I enjoy, this game that has allowed me to meet so many people, from the people in my raid group and outside of. I've made a lot of good friends, and I owe 14 a lot for getting me through some really tough times, especially last year and going into this year. So, I want to thank everybody for coming out to the stream and listening to me ramble. I actually enjoy that you guys like listening to me ramble about tanks. Um, I don't think I'm that interesting, but I don't think I'm that interesting, but I appreciate you guys coming out. I will honestly try to stream more. It's hard to stream when your girlfriend is needy and wants you all the time. It is very difficult to stream, but I will try. I will make an attempt to stream a lot more than I do. Maybe I'll start streaming my Uwu or doing PFs and shit with Duwu and Non. Maybe I'll start streaming that. I don't know. Like, if you guys have any recommendations of things you'd like to see me stream, whether it be whether it be 14 PF Ultimates or other games that I play like Tales of Arise. It's really hard to stream JRPGs though. It's real because I don't see myself talking a whole lot during those. And the one thing about streaming is you have to be entertaining. And I feel like I'm my most entertaining when I'm playing 14. But maybe there are other games I could play that people are interested in seeing me play. I was told that I am very entertaining when we play Among Us. Um, my Among Us streams, I was told, are very entertaining. They're very funny. So I would like to do more of that. You know, I'd like to stream some of my other games. But yeah, so hopefully I'll be able to stream a little bit more. Yes, honey, that's where I've been. So hopefully I'll get a chance to be around more, especially with Endwalker coming up. I'm not really streaming our trials because I don't really want to stream our healer trials. I want them to be not worried about, oh, there are people in Crow stream judging me. I don't want people to think that they're being judged, you know. So, once we're done with trials, I'll be back streaming static prep. So I will be back soon. I have tea right now, but I'm down this weekend. Yo, say less. Sayori, just ping me. Honey, I say less. Honey, DM me. We're gonna set that up. Honey, we're gonna set that up. 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 DM me. We're gonna set that up. But yeah, I'll definitely be PFing with a few members of my static. We have trials next week. And then after that, I'm going to make a tank decision. I said tank. Yeah, Rhythm's out. Crimson Shade is in. I'm going to be making a healer decision on who we will be bringing, and we will start prep shortly after that. We have a lot of work to do, and we'll see how that goes. With that being said, I want to thank you guys for being here. Jitter, thank you for the sub earlier. Sayori, Rhythm, Honey, thank everyone. Thank you guys for being here. Whether you talked in chat or not, I appreciate you being here. Um, you guys listening to me ramble for like 3 hours is really fun. Thank you. Gives me something to do in these COVID times. But yeah, so thank you guys so much. Like I said, all my links are down below. Follow my YouTube because I plan on making 14 videos that aren't just me rating. I just need to get some ideas and get an actual like um software where I can edit videos, or maybe I could just have Rhythm be my editor and make funny videos for me to post on my YouTube. Rhythm, actually, I'm gonna DM you about that. I'm gonna DM you about that. Maybe I can get Rhythm to make funny meme videos to post on my YouTube. I'll DM Rhythm about that. That'll be kind of funny. Um, just like that we'll be right back. Do that, but with Lana getting three. All right. Do that, but with Lana getting three. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, like stuff like that. But yeah, so let me get on up out of here. Let me go eat. Girlfriend's home, so it's time to spend time with her. I gotta go be a good boyfriend. So, on that note, I want to thank everybody for coming out. I'm going to throw you guys over to probably Soviet. Looks like he's streaming. Let me see. Looks like the Hammer streaming. Yeah, of course, they're doing T Speed. Or should I throw you guys over to Clarissa? You know what? I'm gonna throw you guys over to Clarissa. I'm gonna throw you guys over to her. Um, yeah, she's streaming. So I'm gonna throw you guys over to Clarissa. Go enjoy her. She's a good streamer. She's one of Sayori's friends. So yeah, Clarissa, yeah, there you go. I'm gonna throw you guys over to her. She is a very good streamer. You're doing T. Okay, cool. So yeah, that's content. There you go. So raid channel, Miss Clarissa. There it is, Clarissa Eve. There we go. Okay. So I'm gonna throw you guys over there. Go. Wait, what? Okay, there we go. Go watch Clarissa. Tell her Final Fantasy 14 Crow sent you. Everybody have a good night. I will be back soon. I promise. I love you guys. Have a good one. Take care. Be good to each other. Peace.